You know, oddly enough, Tesla is just back above VWAP here. So of all the things, like, so just to give you an idea, the reason it matters is, well, the market ain't at VWAP, not even close. But Tesla is a little bit relatively strong. So sometimes you can be a percent greater than the overall market down, but your short-term momentum is better than the market right now. It's making some higher lows. That said, it's still down 1.8%. We're going to throw over to our good friend Joey Options and Sharif the Professor. We'll be back at 2 o'clock after we have some, well, I guess I'm going to have the pork.
I don't know. I mean, I'm going to see it. I want to actually have it. I'll probably take some. Well,
yeah, you're gonna have.
Yeah. Last time chicken
you know
tasting.
It's going to be good.
See you, everybody.
Peace.
Boom, 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 boom. Hey, there it is. Good morning and greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the Midday Show. That's your boy Joey Options. I'm Sharif, and it is a nice sunny day outside. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it's a little nippy, but I can go for the nippy.
Did you see the temperature on Monday?
Sun. No. I don't really care what the temperature is next week. You know why, Joey?
All right,
I'm gone, Zeno.
Right,
I'll be here Monday, but then I won't be. So shout out to Mr. Leahy. Shout out to Bryanston. We got Tariq. Shout out to Blackhawk Bot Ricks. Successfully joined the chat. Jay Coingy, what's going on? Right back at you. We're waiting for everybody to come on in from the other stream. Britt Brendan, Free Fall Friday. I remember a guy that used to say that all the time. Mr. Inglewood, Two Rich Granny, 420 Bud Monster. It's been a minute since I seen you, man.
Oh, man.
Commodity King, Don Sharifo. What's going on, brother? Lemon family. Mike Petey, right up. Buffalo Soldier Son, Mr. Love Shack. He be doing that love thing. Derek Thompson, Brown Lightning. Who else? We got Notorious Dingleberg and YV7584. Ichiro is in the freaking house. Let's go with Sean, and we're going to go up to Adara.
Yeah, just letting you guys know, we're getting some Fed speak. It is not of the most, I guess, positive nature, so I just want to let you guys know. Basically, Fed's barking saying that regardless of what happened with oil, there was already stalling in the inflation process regardless. So he's saying that even if the Middle East conflict hadn't happened, there would still be inflation concerns. Further adding that the pace and uncertainty with regards to AI is making a lot of Fed members uneasy. So not just him, but apparently a lot of Fed members. So cautious comments coming out of Fed's Barkin, who also says he'll be watching inflation and expectations data carefully. Now, it's also worth noting we're going to be getting Fed's Paulson and Daily at 11:30 a.m. Back to you.
We got Adam. Shout out to Donkey Trader. What's up, Joseph? I see you, son. Who else we got? I've arrived, says K8PF. Shout out to Jay Lee. I made a $5 winner this morning covering my TQQs. I'm assuming you're talking about $5 a share, baby. We got Wendy's Tendies, who says, careful, boys. All the tough guys are out today. All right, man. Shout out to everybody. Pat Christie's in the house. He said, Myron said 4 cuts this year. No one knows. Chris Onion. We got, who else, man? Let's say what's up to Pizza Pie and one more, Joey.
Pizza Pie. Angelo.
Shout out to Angelo. Hope everybody's having a fantastic morning. Happy Friday. And what's going on, brother?
What's up, Pizza Gang? Long time no see, man. Glad to see you guys in the chat. Hope everyone's having a fantastic session. Silver is really on the move here, guys. And we're starting to find somewhat of a rebound here. A nice curl over off the lows, especially on the SPY. But to start the day, we definitely have been onto the a little bit of a slide here. So I mean, hey, it is what it is. Let's pull up our trades. Let's get right into things. Now, IBIT didn't work out for us how we wanted it to, but that's okay. We get out exactly when we wanted. But then this trade, NVDL, oh my Lanta, it's just like, hey, what is going on here, right? Like, should have re-engaged, but we didn't. And sure enough, we pay the good old price. Would have been almost $1 ski right there. As when I know my boy Katina Man likes that club. I think everybody around here likes that club. But aside from that, we take that small loss on it. And then sure enough, as soon as it was breaking that support, I'm like, I have to be cautious in case we do have an all-day fader. But that doesn't seem to be the case as of yet. I want to see how we react around the volume-weighted average price. Aside from that, guys, let's pull this up. and see what we got going on. Settings I control, OS change to avoid display, whatever. So yeah, I'm just running my my algos actually, so that's why we're in this account here. I'll show you guys a couple more things later on in the day, but you know we have the SPY in the corner of our eye, the Qs, NVDA, silver. We're looking at Bitcoin. I think we're going to crack 60, just the way that things are looking right now. And I mean, it's very identical what we experienced through that other leg, right? Look at this price action. It's twinning at this point, and then you can see that it's really starting to pick up the momentum to the downside, and sure enough, here it is, guys. So watch out for that crack of 60. Other than that, we're going to be patient. It's Friday. I think there's going to be a couple more opportunities here throughout the session, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Sit on our hands for a little bit, guys.
All right, we're in our ARTL over here. It's got support at 10, resistance, I want to say, at 1140. There's most of the there's only been one closing print above 11 lately, unless you're looking at earlier. The high of the previous candle, 1138. There it goes into 45. We get the first print at 48. Our 2R here is 37, 1237. So we're going to take off a little bit more towards 12. So we're going to go 1188. We're going to see if we can get up there. It's 50, 65, 69, 70, looking for 88. Let's see if the continuation goes. Halt limit up is 14, okay? There it is. There we go. We get the print at 88. Now we're looking for continuation above 12. So waiting, nothing to do here. No, absolutely nothing for me to do other than wait to see what kind of resistance we have at 12. We have prior bar high breach. We have a higher low. So if we're going to get resistance, it's going to be for the whole dollar at 12. However, I need to bring your attention to the 950 and the 955 candle. Those are the two candles that breach the high of the day. So let's go ahead. We're going to wait at 12. I said my 1R is 37. That can't be right there. I don't think that that's actually accurate. I got, because my stop, that's why. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm gonna wait at 1230. So it's gonna necessitate a $12 breach. There's 12, huge selling at 12. Big selling at 12. Continuing to watch, zero things for me to do. Then there it is, boom.
Bang.
There it is. Nice move up. Limit up. This is limit up here, 1241. 1241 limit up. We need a couple of more seconds at this level. I would say maybe more than a couple. I think it's typically 10 that we need to stay at this level. 3, 2, 1. There's a gray out. Okay, so good trade to start to show. Let's see what else we get here on ARTL. It's obviously the best of the bunch, very clearly. There's really not much else going other than ARTL. Shout out to Case. I see you, girl. I see you, Case. I know you were calling ARTL yesterday. Happy Friday to you as well, Case. Hope you're printing up multiple storms. We typically look at the same thing, her and I. So let's see what Case has under. When you got there, John?
That was for our girl Casey.
So we are halted up ART frickin' L. High a day. 1245, we're at 1241. The tap, Joey, just flashed 1409. Now it's coming down a little bit more to earth. 1293 now, which obviously is a breach of the high of the day. But this one's all gas, no brakes. Be careful with this one, though. What I liked about this one, I had to take more risk than I typically would have on ARTL. So let me make my case to you guys here. So when I got in, I got it on 1118. That was my entry price, all right? And what I saw on this candle, which is the 5-minute candle at 11, that it had an exact low of $10. So I was like, look, there's clearly a buyer at $10. You don't hold up accidentally at the whole dollar unless somebody has a big boy buy order there. So I was like, all right, come hell or high water. We get stopped out. It's going to be a $1 loss. I fixed it. I fixed my risk calculator for that exact parameter. And, we took the risk, and here it goes. So 1245, Joey, let's keep an eye out on this one. We've got 5 minutes from 11:07:52 before this one opens up.
All right, beautiful stuff. I think it's looking pretty weak here today, guys, to be honest with you. So what does that mean? We're going to have to go with the flow. I can use 40 as a stop right now on the TQQs. If we break through that, then I think we can have an opportunity to head a little bit higher and punch through the volume-weighted average price. So it's just a matter of time. Let's be patient and wait for those levels to come into play. play and those targets that we want to potentially engage at. And I think that it wouldn't be bad. So, I mean, 40, a little bit higher than 40, I would need to have a stop. Just kind of calculating in my head, share-wise. And it looks like we're going to slide. So, not going to fight the trend anymore today. Yesterday, you guys seen me in the chat. Sean put it in there. He's like, what are we going to end up, red or green? I was spamming the chat with those twos, but unfortunately that hasn't been the case so far. And if you look at the daily, where we opened up, it kind of makes sense, right? It only counts once, so I was spamming the chat, and my vote only count once, but that's okay. At least I got my message. I got my message across, Sharif. Is it correct? Absolutely not, but that's just the nature of this beast. And we'll start 0 for 2 on today. But you know what's going on, man? You back a dog into a corner, and what does it typically do, Sharif? It wants to bite, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna find some high quality opportunities.
Too Fast, Too Furious, when they go to the club. What was that guy named? That Argentinian drug lord guy. I forget his name. He is Ramon or some, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. We'll go with Ramon,
right? Yeah, no, sorry. But anyway, they go to the club, and he invites Tyrese, and may he rest in peace, Paul Walker, right?
Yeah.
And he has that metal bucket. He's got the metal bucket, and then he's got the rat. And then he's got that crooked cop who he wants him to buy a window so he can smuggle his money out of the trailer park where he has the money hidden in the wall. So he needs, the cops are watching that trailer park, so he needs a window where the cops off.
Yeah.
And so he wants this crooked cop to get him that window. So he takes the rat, he lifts up the dude's stomach, he puts the rat on the stomach.
And they put the bucket.
And then they put the bucket, and then they heat up the bucket. And he's like, the rat can only go one way, baby.
Exactly. I remember that.
So don't corner a rat either, Joe.
So don't corner or put it in a bucket with some heat on it, apparently. Joe, how can you not know that show? What do you mean? I know Fast.
Everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly what he's talking about now. That's in a couple of movies as well, too, I believe.
Is it?
Yeah, I think they're putting the rat in the bucket, and then they heat the bucket up. It's just,
that was the first time that I've seen it.
Old torture method there. So, I mean, that's ancient torture.
Game of Thrones apparently says John Del
Spin, they do that there in Game of Thrones. I mean, we got the rat talk. Shout out Master Splinter. But at the end of the day, we're a dog. Let's see if we can get something going. There goes the NASDAQ to the downside, guys.
All right, Jay, I see you, son. Jay's like SLV's rockety. So, Jay Lee is who I'm talking to here. So what I'm going to be looking at, Jay, is ZSL. Neil, is this pay for shorts? Is that SL? Usually, okay. All right, we'll have a look at this in a bit because we're getting into some technical levels. So, Jay, if I get in to Silv, it's going to be on, pardon me? It is. Thank you, Neil. It is pay for short, so I'll have to make that decision shortly. But this one is absolutely bleeding, which is obviously meaning that silver is up big. So SLV up almost 6%, 592, I think. Did we open up there on? We are halted up again on ARTL. That didn't take long. I look away for 1 second, and we're halted up. Okay, we're halted up 1365, guys. Tap's 1394, so about 20 or 30 pennies, pardon me, above that level. So we have another 5 minutes to talk about silver over here. So this is interesting because silver could have this magnetic move, I want to say, down into about 24.25 to 24. Take a gander at the lows there that we had on Wednesday. The lows there obviously seem to hold up above 24 before they started making this higher low pattern. So yeah, if we continue to sell off in this way, I think that we are probably on the way to 24. I want to say a range, 24.5 to 24. So you got a 50 penny buy range because I don't really see much else standing in front of this short. This is really bleeding. Jay, I was looking at this at 26. I was like, okay, it's got a couple of topping tail candles. I got some time to figure out a short into ZSL. And then I got distracted with the ARTL. I mean, you can't really blame me for that. But there it goes into the low of the day. 25.31 is the low. It's down 11 4/5 now. So this one is an excellent one, Jay. Thank you for pointing this one out. Cool brioche. GVH is moving. Bovin already brought that to my attention. And there it goes into the high of the day, $1.58. That takes out yesterday's high on GVH at $1.56. And then you see the selling come in aggressively. There's a lot moving today, guys, and we're also going to have to go to a Deere.
Interesting headline here that could potentially be market moving depending on what unfolds. I'm seeing reports that Iran's response to the U.S. peace proposal is expected today. Now, we know we already got some kind of response from Iran yesterday, so it's kind of interesting to see what exactly this will entail. But apparently they will be officially replying to the U.S. and that reported 15-point peace framework. This is being reported by CBS News.
Thank you, Adara, for that. That's interesting. They're going to officially respond, Joey. They haven't been officially responding.
They haven't been officially responding.
Yeah.
NASDAQ really selling here. I want to get a little bit involved, but nothing too much here because I want to add some more just in case it comes back closer to 40. As soon as I enter, it probably will. But let's rock and roll. Let's get a little bit a party going here as it slides. Really small to start. To be honest with you, and this could bite me in the butt because I want to add literally 10 times the amount of shares that I have currently on right now. Yeah.
He's feeling violent today. Eh?
I'm not feeling violent. Yeah. I'm just trying to put on the shared rate.
Violence is good, Joey.
Controlled violence is amazing and it's beautiful and it comes in the form of the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
There's my man.
Yeah, exactly. And we like that. Some big fights this weekend. I don't know if there's anything big on boxing this weekend, Sharif, but that's the thing. We need more consistency in the boxing world. Anyways, guys, combat sports UFC is my thing. So it is my boys Ryan O'Day. There we are. We're getting engaged a little bit here in the TQQQ's 39.68. I'll pull back again. I don't have very many shares on this. I'm willing to average up into this previous pivot and see if we can get a little bit closer of a price, and then that's when we'll just boom, any form of rejection, we get that slow curl over, and sure enough, what we're gonna get going on is we're gonna 10x it up and try to put on that big boy position because we did take a couple losses that ended up working up for us on NVDL, but that is what if history, and we're not about that. So NVDL a loss, IBIT a loss. Let's see if we can get the trip queues rolling here.
All right, man.
Oh, sorry, one more thing.
Yeah,
What's Unity up to here today?
It was up in the
It was up. It was up.
Now,
did you see it on the post yesterday? It was up like 12%. Now it's not really doing
after
it.
earnings, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Of course.
Yes.
I didn't see it.
Oh, no, it wasn't earnings. It was, yeah, exactly, the preliminary.
Preliminary earnings.
Yeah.
Understood. Thank you. All right, there goes GVH into another high of day. We're long 58. We wet the beak at 62. There's 64, Buvin. Where you at, Buvin? Let's go. Come on, Buvin. I need you with me on this one. Casey, where are you at? I'm going to need you to punch in big. I know you're trading big over there. Let's go. We're looking for a move into $0.75. I stop out below prior bar low, which is $1.45. So we're going to keep an eye out on this one. Simultaneously, we're waiting for ARTL to open up. Earliest this will be open 1:18:15. It is 11:18:15. Pardon me. It is now 11:18 on the dot. So we've got another, I would say, 30 seconds or so. What did I say the time was? Oh no, it's going to open up like in 5 seconds. All right, let's see. Let's see if it opens up. ARTL, looking for the open at 5. There it is. All right, new high a day, 14.96. Where are the buyers? Looking for a big buyer to come in on the, what's it called? The bid. There's a buyer between the third to the half. That's gone. 13. Oh, no, this is going to halt down, Joey. 12.79. 12.79, halt down. 12.79 halt down. Here we are. It's in the halt perimeter. We need another 5 seconds in this way. Let's see if it's a false halt. We've done 44.67 million shares halted. We are halted down now on ARTL. Oh my days. The volatility is very, very aggressive today. So back to GVH while we wait for this one to open up again. GVH is still holding trend. I'm displeased, though, that it wasn't able to continue into the 60s. We're a penny out of the money. We've taken a couple of shares here, but nothing to write home about. We're looking for a bigger move into $0.75. It's holding trend. As long as it holds trend, it remains. I remain long, but we're going to have to keep an eye out on that one. And then I also wanted to mention one I didn't say anything about yet because I didn't really bring in the side charts. But I'm looking at ADMA, and I'm going to call this Adama. And the reason I'm going to call it Adama is because I showed you guys that soccer player who has no business playing soccer, right? Adama Traore. Y'all know who he is. Anyway, the real ones will know. What?
The jacked guy?
The jack dude.
Is that who it is?
Yeah, and he says, if you believe, he says he doesn't work out. This dude is just, he's nuts. Makes me look bad.
He is,
anyway, so ADMA, Adama, This seems to me to be an ascending wedge pattern, okay? This is looking like flat top breakish. So my suggestion for anybody looking to trade this is to pick this up off, that trend line right there, right? So look for a move at least lower. That way you have a closer out, right? So if you're picking it up at 946 instead of 956, your out would be prior area low, which would be this red candle right there, the 1045 candle, the low of which is 936. So you would risk 10 pennies. Now, you may not get that opportunity, mind you, but ADMA, Adama, definitely one that I'm looking at there. We'll see if this one actually kind of does its thing. NXTT says, cool brioche. Let's bring in the side chart over here and take a look at NXTT. Not bad, not bad. Volume is dropping off markedly, but I don't mind the pattern, okay? Especially if you can try to maneuver back into 2. NXTT, the ticker, we're certainly gonna keep an eye out on that. Who am I gonna replace here? MSTZ, unlikely to trade this. So we're gonna put in NXTT. Thank you for that, cool brioche. I don't mind that chart pattern. Definitely one that I can work with, especially if it starts respecting trend, but we're gonna have to see if that's the case first though, Joey.
All right, good luck. Interesting. Oh, sorry, I didn't even mean to hide that there, Wendy's, to be honest with you. But no, man, if you're on gear, you can't just pump gear and then expect to get jacked. You still have to work out, man. I don't think it works.
Substantially easier if you're using hormones. Substantially.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I'm not saying that, but you still have to physically exercise. You can't just be like, hey, let me get on this cycle and then think you're gonna get jacked.
Is he talking about Adama?
No.
Because they test those soccer players consistently.
For sure. Yeah. But I mean, like, you still have to work out at some point, Joe. You got to shave that. Oh, come on, Adam, man, leave me alone a little bit. You guys got to leave me alone with that. What are your thoughts on Rousey Carnage?
So mean.
I might. Yeah, he's guy's cold, man. Hey, I know you want me to join the club. No, he just wants me to be like him. He wants me to join the bald team, which I was a part of. But we'll see, man. We're gonna allow this to grow for a couple more months, and then we'll take it from there, right? Let's see if we can grow anything back. Can you please tell me? Oh, I don't even know. You remove that and use free weights. Okay. Never use gym machines. Hate those. Never develop any support muscle, ligament, etc. Okay. Good. Joe, no, I'm not at all, man. I've never, man. Lifetime natty, for sure. But anyways, aside from
that. That's Mickey Mouse stuff, my boy.
What does that mean?
That kind of stuff. That's pure Mickey Mouse.
What does that mean?
That means it's BS.
Me, I'm a lifetime natty?
No. You? Yeah. No, man. I'm talking about if you go down that road.
Yeah.
That's some Mickey Mouse stuff.
Oh, yeah. You think, yeah.
I personally have views.
You don't like that. You don't like it.
No, of course not.
Yeah, of course not. For all the dudes that are working hard.
No, not about that. You're talking about heart. You're talking about
all the health
hypertension.
Issues.
Can I say one thing, dude? Did I tell you that I see all these advertisements on the TTC now for psychostimulants mimicked or hidden as ADHD diagnosis?
Oh, really?
It's like they're just gonna throw
Adderall
pseudo speed your way.
Adderall
Yeah. Hey, come take an online, clinic, whatever. Some clinician meets you online, does like this pseudo test.
Yeah.
Right?
Like
all
how
of a sudden you've got Adderall and Vyvanse coming in the mail, bro.
That's just like when remember when the weed dispensaries were illegal? You just go there and you'd have that little conversation with the doctor.
It's getting crazy.
Oh, market's really moving here. Volatility spike, guys. We're in this. We're gonna hop out long. I'm really happy that we started slow, but a massive volatility spike. Maybe this can be a good opportunity for us to fade. Came back into that pivot price, no issue. So I like this. The chance of it selling off there, I think, are in our favor. We're gonna wait for Adara. What did she have for us?
No, I don't think she said anything, brother.
Someone said
no, super chat.
Oh, super chat. Oh, okay.
Why is the ask $50 on ARTL? I don't see that. Oh, right there. Yeah. That's just, it plays games. It messes up when we're halted. But that's not the truth, Adam. Like, just look right there. You'll see it always on my screen. I know it's super small, and I do apologize, but that's the beautiful thing about YouTube. You can zoom in. 12.10. The theoretical auction price is saying $12.10, and we are halted at $12.79. So at least for the moment, we're slated to open lower. So I realize that, but it does get a little bit wonky. But that's not something that I use. I don't use level 1. So those big numbers on the top there, that's level 1. I'll always look at the first row of level 2. That way I can kind of get a bit of a better picture. We're going up to Adara.
USO dropping here, as you can see. Wow, as Joe was mentioning there, the market's popping. CBS reporters saying on X that White House officials are, quote, cautiously hopeful that the latest negotiations with Iran are making progress. That's really all this was. There's some cautious hope, to use their words, that we could get some kind of progress here with Iran. Now, at the same time, Politico reporting that U.S. warning that Iran war might delay some weapon shipments. So just a lot going on here with Iran. Again, the big headline, though, White House officials saying they're hoping there could be some progress here in these new Iran negotiations.
Yeah, I was reading something about that this morning, that the U.S. was looking at diverting aid that they sent to Ukraine into the Middle East, so which would be interesting. I don't know if it's the right time to aggravate Ukraine a bit more, because they seem to know a lot about drone warfare, and you may need them now.
Yeah, unfortunately, they have the experience. You see what they have? You see what they have on the highways now?
What?
You see what they have
nets?
on? Yeah,
that's old. Yeah.
Even
I
so,
saw those,
it's pretty crazy.
Well, you have to. You got to respond. And then, do you know what's going on in the Middle East right now? Nobody can use GPS. Because of all the GPS jamming. Right? So it's like someone was showing this video, like he's in front of the Burj Khalifa, and it says like he's in the middle of like the Hormuz Strait.
Oh, really?
And he's not, obviously,
That's
right?
crazy.
Yeah, everybody else's GPS getting jammed.
What are they called? The blockers?
Jammers.
But get all the COD heads in all the Call of Duty heads. What is it when you block the other team's radar and stuff like that? Put it in the chat. We'll figure that out here momentarily. All right, guys, right back into things. Volume spike.
Spoofers?
EMP. There you go. The EMP. There it is. There we go.
Electromagnetic pulse.
Yeah,
I've heard about
the
that.
EMPs block everything up.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, there it is, guys.
Right away.
Yeah, there
I love it.
EMPs. All right, guys. TQs. If we get in right now, it's at a better entry, but I don't want to go against the volume just yet. We continue to climb a little bit higher, 40-10, just game planning with you guys here. But then we get that curl over, sure enough. Man, we can have a good short here on the day, because what we've noticed over the past week or so is that these volatility pops eventually get faded. And why not stick with that narrative? If it doesn't work out, so be it. We still have plenty of risk on the day, and we're going to have some quality opportunities, I believe. So, yeah, good stuff. What's up, Ethan? What's up, Ethan? Prasad, much appreciated. But you got to love everybody here, especially my boy to the right of me, and then obviously Neil and Sean, Adara, Fabian. He was going to show me something, but I had to do something real quick. And then obviously Assassino and Ramin, Brendo, everyone got to love them.
Well, slow down there. You said Ram?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, wow.
I was just the public transy.
Is she on the way?
I don't
know. I see public transit.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Love Ram. Get it, Ram. She's feeling better now. I can cut tease. I stopped teasing her for a little bit, Joe. Because, she was a little under the weather. You don't know how people are going to take it when,
Yeah.
But, guys, Adama is on the way here. ADMA, I'm keeping a close eye on this one. I'm looking at going long. I'm getting in at the highs, which isn't my favorite move, but I never really got an opportunity to get it in the 50s or 40s. Continuing to watch here. This feels very strong. I think I should get in half the position in case this drops and give my, I know, right, T-Money? I'm calling this Adama Traore. I don't care. I think I'm going to get in half the position, and then if it clears it directly, I'm going to get in, I'll get in more, above the $0.75. That is assuming that it goes. GVH is coming down. If it loses 45, I'm out. So it's coming down pretty aggressively. It's lost prior bar low, so this one is losing trend. The 10 EMA on the 5 is showing 45. So if it holds up, I won't get stopped out. If it loses it, I'm out. So this doesn't look good for GVH here, quite frankly. It looks like it's setting up for a Christmas tree retracement, which is not what I'm going for, right? We're not looking for that kind of, that big move up and then an equally aggressive move down. ARTL is open, says Bovin. Holding up above 12, Bovin. The 10 EMA on the 5, it's losing it. It's losing it in a hurry. Here comes 11. It's going to halt down. 11.19 halt. That's the parameter. So that's where we're going to hold if we stay at this level for another few seconds. So ARTL giving it up in a freaking hurry, man. It was essentially a $15 high, and we are halted again on ARTL. So yeah, a lot of volatility here, both to the upside and the downside. Let's keep an eye on the trades we've got on. I've got GVH, and this one is close to stopping me out. If it loses 45, I'm out. And then I got into half the position here into Adama Traore because I'm going to be looking for another move down into the mid-50s, ideally 55, 56, 54, whatever, into that area for another add. If it doesn't give me that opportunity, I add above that 75 penny area. So we'll see which one of those manifests first. Joey, what do you got?
Good stuff. I'm talking to my boy Mike Peter Ryder. Hopefully you listen to that stuff. Can you please tell me when ONCO halt stops? Thank you. Yeah, absolutely, man. We can do any of that stuff for you. I'll put it up here for you. ONCO. Anything for you guys. Halted. We got that halt right now, guys. I'll let you know as soon as it opens up. What is it? What index is it on? Because then maybe I can give you a top as well. We can pull that up here right now. Considering, right? It's you always want to put your tools to use. Onco. Top $2.81. We're trading. We closed at 307 right there, so not too bad of a look. Climbing a little bit higher on the Nasdaq. Let's wait for that curl over, and then maybe we can go with the flow. But one thing to note here, guys. This is a pretty firm base. I like it, right? This is, maybe we're gonna turn around and continue to the top side on today's session. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna let it climb higher. If we come back and retest, then maybe we kind of get that all-day grind, and that's kind of the narrative that I'm looking for, and we're gonna remain hopeful on that. No way am I chasing silver all the way up here. That just doesn't make any sense to me, and nor is it a logical trade. Your risk to reward isn't there, in my opinion, unless you're willing to go smaller size and allow it to grind high. But there goes the Nasdaq. I'm glad that we started really, really small on that short because headline sensitive market. Look at it rip to the top side, considering we are down 50, almost 60 cents from our previous entry.
Just before we go to Deere, great call out, Darwin. SST's making a move. It's into the high of the day. 280 is the high. It's showing 65. It's up 93%. Thanks for this, Darwin. Great move here. Be careful with this one, though. Possible support at the fifth to $0.25 at Deere.
We're going to get to crypto. I quickly want to mention as well here some more comments coming in from the Fed and also with regards to the Middle East. CBS reporter Jennifer Jacobs, who said that White House officials were again cautiously hopeful that these talks with Iran are going well. She also said that apparently Pakistan is in direct contact with Iran's security establishment, not just their foreign ministry. Now, this is significant because we know Pakistan is reportedly the intermediary between U.S. and Iran for these talks, which, again, if they could happen, are very likely to happen in Pakistan. So that's why this is significant. Also, Fed's Paulson talking. She's saying that there's no sign the labor market's contributing to inflation. Long-term inflation expectations might be more fragile, and inflation levels are still too high. So the second kind of cautious Fed speaker we've had so far today. Fed's daily also set to start speaking at any moment. Bitcoin at a really interesting level here. I've mentioned on the daily chart earlier this week that we continue to have these higher lows from that drop on February 6th. Now, as of today, that's no longer the case. We broke below that higher low we made on Monday, Sunday to Monday here of this week around that 67.4 level. Right now, low of day is going to be 65.70. Right now, again, 66.3. So we're back above that 66 level, but we've officially made a lower low here on the daily chart for Bitcoin. On the weekly, we're actually poised for a second straight red week. Now, let's talk about this options expiry here for Bitcoin, because this is going to be of interest. This was actually mentioned on our Trader TV Live watch list. You can grab that there as well. A couple different sources, including, as the watch list mentioned, Bloomberg, reporting that Deribit, which is, of course, a exchange, on Deribit, there's going to be roughly $13 to $14 billion worth of Bitcoin options expiring today. So a lot of people are saying that this could be kind of an interesting catalyst for Bitcoin because it's unclear if Bitcoin's been a little bit stagnant, perhaps, according to some analysts, heading into this event. So they're saying that when this event happens, volatility in crypto, specifically Bitcoin, could skyrocket. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Back to you.
All right. Good stuff. What do you got going on over there?
I've got a couple of positions, brother, so I'm just keeping an eye on them, looking at getting into possibly SST. ADMA made another area high, but SST feels like this one's really on its horse and ready to hit the $3 area. So I'm trying to figure out a way into it. Current bar low, it's a topping tail, so it's always concerning getting in here. Current bar low is 235. The current price, well, at least last time I looked here, 255. So we're about 20 pennies from prior bar. So as I mentioned, 235, so it will be 234. Keeping an eye out on this one. Let's see what this one looks on the 5-second chart. Yeah, putting in some lower highs. Area high there is 270. So even though the high of the day is 280, they're selling at 270. So I'm on the lookout for there, brother. So I'm looking to execute. I'll send it to you just for so I can keep my eye on this one. Yeah.
All right, BBC 157, my boy. Okay, Patrick DeVille, it's a peptide. I'm not familiar with that stuff or anything along those lines. So you're saying it's like the Wolverine drug? Something along those lines. I don't know if they're good for you. The chance of us being able to get it here are probably pretty slim. But I'm going to be honest with you. So, guys, I mean, it's Friday. We'll have a little side conversation and then get right back into these markets if we see anything. So, essentially, the first time I tore my ACL, the weakness within my knee and the stability didn't come back for quite some time. And I went through extensive physiotherapy. This time around, significantly stronger. They did a stabilization procedure, which I think helped. And I also didn't get the nerve block. I don't think that has anything to do with it. But this recovery feels significantly stronger, and I'm moving at a faster pace than my previous one. But I've also been doing a lot of work on my own as well. So I just thought I'd share that with you guys. I don't know if it matters or if anybody really cares at that point.
Everybody cares,
but that's just the honesty. So second time around, I hope to not do it again, to be honest with you. I really want to play hockey because it's my muse, right? It's that thing where you can just go out there and you can rage and you can let out all that built up energy over time that you may not necessarily get out at the gym or doing other things or punching people in the face like in boxing. But yeah, that's what I got going on. All right, guys, right back into things. We care, but thanks, Texas boy. I like
we do.
I like everyone, man. We care. Thanks, George, man. You guys are all love you all. All right, so yeah, some topping signals here on SLV. But dare you short this thing? I mean, look at all this buying pressure. We could have a defined risk. The trend is just so strong, and I don't necessarily love doing those things, but if the signals are displaying themselves, why not take a little bit of stab? We can, a little bit of an opportunity and a chance here, because, I mean, if I'm wrong, we know where we're wrong. And if it wants to continue to do what it's doing and put on a buy program on today's session, that's fine. So let's get involved just a tiny bit here. Where's my risk? 50 cents. No problemo. We go super small size, roughly what we were putting on there in the T-QQs, looking for that short. Maybe you get somewhat of a curl over and aggressive pullback in silver. But if the buy program remains, there could be a good opportunity as well if I have to take the stop out or if I'm fortunate enough to take some profits and it looks like we're going to turn around in price, we can do a dip buy more shares back than what we're going to potentially short, and then maybe get that continuation in today's trend. And okay, pull them up there, Assassino. On the grand scheme of things, a nice bounce off that support level. So, I mean, strong day. There's a bunch of things correlating with potential buy program. So let's just get involved, especially in a stock that's moving relatively well. Number one, just an FYI from yesterday, MTZ Long is a part of the engineering of the new Alaska LNG pipeline. Also, Sats owns a stake in SpaceX. Okay, let's pull up those two names. Hold that up there for a couple of seconds there, Assassino, if you don't mind, because I am going to pull up both of those tickers and we're going to take a look. So MTZ and see how it's performing. Mastech on the NYSE. One. Okay, not very liquid, but up and to the right. That's what we want to see. What do we have on the daily? Wow. Okay. I mean, it's funny to think, like, I think we get so fixated on the fact that the tech trade, everything to do with hyperscalers and everything else, but there's so many other opportunities outside of that, and that's something that I believe I need to work on as well too. 219% from the previous tiers tantrum. So a double of your money on a name that we don't even really typically talk about, nor do I even know. Moving forward, what is SATS? Very good call-outs there. EchoStar Corp. Sharif would know this one. I think you've talked about EchoStar before.
Yeah, man. It brings back memories of childhood, man. Having those big satellite dishes that move, the black ones in the backyard.
Well, how about these memories here, Sharif, before we send it back over to you? June 6, 2025, 624%. I don't know if there's been a split or anything along those lines, but multiple massive gap up. That is some big-time movement in SATS.
All right, guys. SST is doing its thing here. It's popping up and it's dropping down. It's holding trend, so there's no kind of reason for me to get out. But there is clearly a seller at 80. That's a couple of times now. It's kind of looked at that level and rejected it, so that is a bit of a problem. So be on the lookout for that. I'm continuing to hold. I've got 63s. It's showing me 61s. This is the smallest position that I have of the three. I see the tags, guys. I'm sorry, I won't be able to respond until I'm done these trades because I really have to focus on all of them. And GVH, we're in the money on this one. There was clearly a seller at 50. I perceive this one to be holding trend. I'll feel a lot better if we get above that 56, 57 area because that will break the kind of the lower high setup. 55 coming in. Big position here on GVH. There's 56. Looking for the move into 58, 59. Not forthcoming at the moment. Also keeping an eye on SST, yeah. A drop below the $0.50 ends the trade. Why is it not triggering? Why is it not triggering? There it is. It triggers late. Back to GVH. Into 57 it goes. Bigger position on this one. Definitely need to focus on this one more. Looking for a big move here, Bovin. I know that you're still involved in this probably. There's my man, Bovin. ARTL open. Okay, Bovin's looking at ARTL. I'm going to have to focus on GVH. I'm looking for a move to test high of day. Now you can see we kind of had a whole bunch of closing prints on the one. Reject 58. So if we get 57, 58 rejections, that could be the start of a lower high. Flipping to the 5-second chart, trying to gauge resistance. There is 59. There's 60. There's the frickin' print. Let's go up to the high side. 61, Joey, we're holding.
Okay.
Let's see if we can get a little bit more. We're making it back on that GVH trade that we got stopped out of. 61 coming in. 62 now. Let's take a bit of a beak wetter here. Small shares, saving the majority for the big move up. 63, 64 now. Can we get another high a day? Let's see. Are they going to come in? They come in hot here. They're coming in hot, Joey. But that's fine. We're going to post at 68. No, that's blasphemous. I moved it up.
You moved it up.
To 69. Get it, Assassino. So
boy.
good trade here on Guva. Let's see if this one continues to run. We can make a little bit more money on this one. Definitely looking for a bigger move. Adama, ADMA, let's not forget about that one. That one is disappointing me a little bit, but it's coming into a good entry point for me, which is the 10 EMA. I'm going to wait in the mid to high 50s, but I also want to keep my eye here on GVH. We're still holding shares on this one, and it certainly hasn't resolved. We got a a perfunctory breach here of the high of the day was 6.4. Now we got 6.5. I'm going to need a little bit more. I don't mean to be greedy or anything like that, but we're looking for the $0.75 here, right? You're not going to just get up into a random area of 65 and tell me it's all over. Like, that's crazy talk. Let's go. Come on, GVH. Let's get the buying back going. Let's get up into 75. Let's keep an eye on this one. Let's see what it has to offer. Adama Traore. Let's go. We're going to add a little bit here into the winger. Man, this guy, he's kind of like a journeyman. I'm not going to lie to you. He's been in a lot of clubs, Wolverhampton, Fulham. Where else, guys? Obviously, Barcelona. Did he have a couple of stints at Fulham? West Ham. The dude's been everywhere. I mean, I feel bad for the guy. I would have given him, a bit more of an opportunity. Managers, I feel like didn't really use him the right way anyway. No, I don't, Stubborn. That's funny.
Sports.
Sports. Shout out to OG Wisdom. Thank you for the 37, pardon me. It looks like Durham's there, giving back some profits for the BTC short 66K hit. Sorry about that, brother. Hope you print up more storms. But I
think you meant like 66K, like the level on Bitcoin, maybe?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay.
Yeah. Because, well, I don't know. Is he short? Is he long? I have no idea. I just have to focus on the trades at the moment. So sorry, guys. I just saw it in passing. What do you got, Joey?
Yeah, all right, for sure. Yeah, I think we'll. OG Wisdom giving back profits. That's okay. That means you still have some, which is positive,
man.
right? So, guys, we need to do a meetup in.
What's happening here?
Why? What happened?
What are those noises?
I don't know.
Yeah, like, why so many?
Okay.
Because I agree.
What's
wrong with that?
All right, hold on here now. Where is it? Give me a second now. All right. That's what.
This is ugly on TVH here, man.
That was me. All right, guys, enough is enough. Let's go. We're going back to IBIT. Let's see if we can get this short rocking and rolling to see if that's going to work. I like the inverted hammer candle on the 5-minute. If we break through the volume weighted average price, then we're going to really get this party started. If it breaks up higher, then we just get out of dodge at that previous pivot, okay? So that's going to be the narrative. I went full throttle on this one. Willing to give it a little bit of room. 70 is where I'm going to have to get out approximately and give it 13 cents or so. All right. So moving forward with that,
kind of dumbass.
I don't have anything else really. I mean, we did get that curl over in the Nasdaq. But I wasn't patient enough in order to, or I mean, I didn't pull the trigger fast enough in order for us to get that breakdown. Because as soon as we got it, I'm like, hey, watch out for these pops to be faded. And sure enough, that came back in. So let's see if Bitcoin's going to head a little bit lower, if it wants to kind of put in somewhat of a reversal. It is counter trend trade, which I'm not in love with, but oh well, it is what it is. We'll pull this up. This trend, if this trend breaks, then we're really gonna get rocking and rolling. Why am I going short here? This hammer candle right on the 5-minute, right at the volume weighted average price, okay? So not too bad of a look. We'll hold on to it. It is starting to bounce off of it, so we do have to be prepared to get out when it displays us to do so. It's almost the same trade on IBIT. Okay, you're almost in the same trade. Then let's go. Let's see if we can get it. It's not looking too good right now, to be honest with you, as the market takes a little bit of an uptick and hasn't really broke down, even though we do have the NASDAQ south of VWAP and the SPY south of VWAP as well. Silver still holding up around those highs, so not too bad of a look. You did get a micro pullback, but it looks like it wants to continue to the top side.
All right, man. Double bottom 210 SST. Be on the lookout for that. I got stopped at a GVH because I lost the $0.50. We took that one for profit, but I see that it's still holding prior bar low. So that got me back into the trade. We're giving this one really tight stop into prior bar low. But SST has a double bottom here, guys. 210. Oh, wow, it just flushed back. It's going to lose 210? Let's see. Look at this buyer here right at 210. Showing 213, 210, trying to look at the time in sales. It's holding. That double bottom is holding here on SST. So there's clearly a buyer at 210 that the sellers can't shake, whether or not, this gives us an opportunity to the high side.
What the hell is even that?
Honestly, Fabian, there's crazy time over here. Let's give this one the old...
Oh, wow. He did that on purpose. You know that, right?
Fabian, it's tough enough to do a show and trade and stuff like that. You don't have to antagonize me, bro.
Let's swap. Let's swap.
That's what he did.
Last time it came on, he's like, I get nervous. I love this guy.
Fabian gets nervous now when you're on there?
I don't know if he does.
I'm behind the camera kind of person, you know?
He's production, Joey,
So you're going to give him a hard time then?
I am a little bit. He's my boy, right? Of course I can give him a hard time, right? There it is. All right, we're holding for the double
now,
bottom
Fabian,
here.
now you're getting it at me here now, man.
All right, we're in SST for the double bottom into 210. If it holds 210, fantastic. If it doesn't, we're out. Let's see if the buyers are going to step in here in an aggressive way. What do we get? 23s. So we'll see if this one can kind of maneuver up into that $0.50. It got to 280, so we'll give this one the old call try. By the way, guys, ARTL's halted up again. So that one's a halt fest. Back up. Keep your eye on that one. Generally defended 10.5, Joey.
Okay. All right, I can ramble on, man, especially if you got some heavy positions on there. I have no issues with that. Considering, I mean, it doesn't want to break this trend. Who's in this shadow wrap as well? Look at this, holding up really good. But if we can breach this, then I think we can really get rolling. IBIT. See what we got going. Oh, and it's double, so it's even on the lower time frames as well. So that's not too bad of a look whatsoever. And it's hovering in that neck of the woods. I want to just see a little bit more weakness within the time and sales, and I think that can give us a little bit more conviction. Let's get this over here. I don't know why I still have this TQs trade on here. I didn't even have that many shares. How did I take that? Okay, anyways. IBIT, head over. Well, Joey Hawkish is over here. We meant to go short right there, but then I'm like, oh no, I went long by accident. As you can see, I got out of the position relatively quick. And then sure enough, we flipped it again. So Joey Hawkish strikes one more time, man. I got to drop that. It's not a good reputation, Sharif, but no, I'm obviously Joey. No, they're always giving me a hard time. But anyways.
I always feel like Adara's coming in every time I hear that, because that's like the Adara sound.
This is, hold on now.
Isn't it? No, when she chimes in, brother.
Yeah.
Chum is when she likes. There we go on SST. Now it's holding up here. We haven't quite made it up to the $0.50 yet, but the double bottom into 210 is generally holding up. Let's see if this one has enough juice to kind of get back into the 30s and 40s. 2 prints so far, just kind of liquidity tests to see if this one can maneuver up. But right now, it's holding the double bottom, but not really showing that kind of juice that we saw earlier where it was sort of parabolic. So that is the look there. Still holding ADMA. ADMA is, it's on a pullback right now, but we've got 66 on. It's showing me 6. I still haven't built the full position on ADMA, so I only added a third of what I added over here. So I still have a bit of a bias that this one may retrace. If it does, that's fine. I can give it to the $0.50. Now, I will also add if it breaches prior bar high on a closing basis and continues to move up partly into that 65, 66-ish area. So that will be what I'm looking at there for ADMA. But right now, it's showing you a little buying. It's a slow mover. And how much volume does this have on the day? Yeah, 12.1 million on a $9.50 name is not all that bad, Joe. So we're going to keep an eye out on that, looking for that continuation to the high side.
Good stuff. Going through some of the comments, we might get this breakdown here now. Let's keep an eye on the tape. I want to get our quote highlight up here on the level 2 to see if we can see any form of a ladder here. So we're going to have to add a little bit more size. We'll put that to around 3,000 or so, and that's going to be shares, that is. So there it is, not too bad. It is relatively balanced. Let's filter it a little bit more considering it's a $37 name. So it might take some. And if you guys put filters on your level 2s, you're gonna obviously have to change it from ticker to ticker, right? To get out some of the noise, filter out some of that noise, all right? JPM caller trade, we are now in the money. This will be wild EOD callers long, 6475. Okay, nice work there. Let's pull up JPM and see what the banks are doing today. I haven't talked about them in quite some time. Not too good, but I mean, the caller, you might be all right. Now, CrowdStrike, some of these SaaS names not looking too good. I'm a big fan of Claude now. Oh, okay. ONCO has been open trading and then went into immediate halt. So you can see that we had that notification halted down to 242 right now. Moving forward, going back to CrowdStrike, and we'll go over PanW as well and Zscaler to see how they have. But this is a massive drop down. We had that gap up, we had that price action. We were trading above that previous trend line, and then it eventually broke. We went and retested it. We couldn't hold it, and then sure enough, we have a big slide in the pre-market this morning, down 7% at the lows, right? 8%, closer to 8%. Now, PanW, how have you been doing? All right, nice V-shaped reversal on this one, but taking the same effect, like is essentially getting beat up as well to Zscaler. This name has not been performing well whatsoever compared to the other two. It's been down over 50%, I believe, from this previous pivot high, 335, all the way down to 134. That's 60% on Zscaler. That is not good whatsoever. I don't know if this is going to be stopping volume, but it's the same narrative. Wait for trend lines to be broken before you look to engage. There's times to catch falling knives, but there's also times to get involved with names at certain times. And I think that's going to be the case regardless. And same thing with Bitcoin. Before, Sharif's dancing right now, and
we're
I know
in
he's giddy,
ARTL,
man.
my boy. It was about to halt up.
Give me a second there, my boy, and you can show me what you got going on in ARTL. Same thing with Bitcoin. Wait for the trend line to be broken, and then sure enough, I think there's going to be time to engage, just like Microsoft, just like Google, just like Netflix.
Let's go ARTL, man. We want that halt, man. We're in at 75. Drops below 75, I flatten out. Buyer at 14. There was a buyer at 85. Continuing to watch. Let's see if this can work back up. 1496 high a day. We're in at 75. We've wet the beak multiple times. I'm looking for continuation. We're looking halt up. Limit up, give me a second, I'll be able to tell you guys what that is momentarily. If it spikes up, limit up 1508. So we're substantially below the limit up right now. And we're really having, at the moment, trouble taking out 14. Obviously, we've taken it out, but there's really no continuation at the moment above 14. Aggressive seller, there we go into 15s, but right back down into the whole dollar level. Trying to, exercise patience here, knowing that this one has a propensity to halt, right? So if that's the case, then let's just ride it in, man. I mean, whatever happens, happens. Let's look to see if we can get, the best out of this trade by staying in it for the appropriate amount of time. But continuing to watch here as that $14 level develops. Now here it comes into 83. There's been buying here before. It loses this level, I'm out. Back into 14 it goes. Looking at the top screen, there's a downtrend clearly on the 5-second chart. And there is selling now at less than 14. This looks like it's going to fail and I'm out. Nice. Good drop there. Very happy with that. Oh, snap. KC 520 freaking 6. Shout out to Casey. Thank you as always, Casey. Ever the generous person you are, always giving back to the community. I'm assuming you printed up multiple storms on ARTL because I know that is your wheelhouse. Thank you very much for that. All right, let's see who got it.
Casey does all this, man. We gotta treat her to a nice dinner.
Well, I don't even know where Casey lives. Case, where do you live?
We gotta treat her. Yeah, exactly.
I'd like to know a little bit more about you, Case.
Well,
I mean, we always
we'll get you
to
front the bill. We'll go up to York. We'll go up to Yorkville.
We'll go up to Yorkville. All right. Okay, Joey.
Yeah, Irene will take care of Case.
All right, here we go. We're doing it live on Adama as well. Trippier. Kieran Trippier? No, I'm kidding. Trippy River, D. Matthews, DMP, 23 Lax, M. Tally, Poomzaza, Matthew D. Carrier, Trades BYAZ, all you guys, you all got free Trader TV premium YouTube memberships as a thanks, obviously, from KC526. Couldn't thank you enough, Case, for that. Let's tell everybody that now that you guys are premium members, you can mosey on over to the YouTube homepage. Pardon me? What?
Who's that?
That's, what's her name? Caitlin Collins from CNN.
Oh, okay.
She's got the 9 o'clock segment there. All right, just mosey on over to Trader TV Live, the homepage on YouTube. Click posts on the tab, and there you go. You're going to have the, it's going to say members only right there in the green. Just hit read more, and you can get my morning watch list every day. New additions coming to this next week. There's been many additions so far. There's been the table of contents, of course. Now you guys get a bias for the support and resistance, but there's more stuff coming next week, and I do promise it will be better. There goes Adama into 76. We're holding on this one. I've added several times. SST is going as well, Joey. We're doing it freaking live on all these trades, man. I gotta start focusing here, my boy. So we're doing it live. ARTL's breaking out again. Holy cow, there's a lot going on. So let me send it to you so I can take some prints over here.
Absolutely. Let's start rocking and rolling here on IBIT, guys. Pretty good look. We got that short. It's working for us right now. See if we can head a little bit lower. I just took 30% off right there, sitting on 70%, looking for that next level. I wanted to hold some more. There it is, a nice little flush to the downside, ladies and gents. This is exactly what we want to see here. We'll take a little bit more. Now we're sitting on 60% of our position. Took an additional 10% of what I had fully at the initial starter. And then sure enough, I told you we were going full size on that one. Inverted hammer candle, holding of the volume weighted average price. And now we're starting to get that breakdown. So we'll hit this one for Sharif. We'll hit this one for Sharif as well too, and then we have to worry. We have to do our little thing right there.
What are you gonna do, Joey? Oh, you gotta come out angry. You gotta come out, your arms swinging, you know, cussing at everybody, throwing up obscene gestures.
A couple non-alcoholic beers.
Were they actually non-alcoholic?
No, I don't know. But I'm just saying because I'm not drinking for 26, man, until we're back on the ice. I'm serious. Yeah, and so I said that for me. I said that to you.
I'm just making sure, my guy.
So.
All right, Adair's got news.
Yeah, we'll do happening now really soon, but I want to start with a news story. PTON sharply to the upside. Eric Jackson of Open Door and Cypher mining fame announces that he is long Peloton at $4. So PTON getting a bump from Eric Jackson.
Hey, yeah, Mike P.
I am for real. Get it, Adara. Here we go, baby. Adama, let's go, Adama. And there it is into the area. I saw somebody say
you're still going.
She's still going, bro, but it's good.
Crazy.
There we go.
Right.
Yeah, that was a good one. That's from back in the day. Neil's loving that one too, man. All right, here we go. Adama into 980. We're holding on this. Bovin's talking about NXTT. I got that on my side chart, Bovin. 213 high. I see you, sir. We're always looking at the same stuff. Shout out to my man, Bovin. You guys are interested in the small caps. Obviously, I trade small caps, but you need to be keeping your eye on KC 526. You need to keep your eye on Mike P. DeRider, Bovin, Cool Brioche, Grunfeld. Who else? My main man, Adam. So yeah, those are all small cap traders as well, and they're doing it live. My main man in the chat, Luis freaking Barbado.
Where is he?
I love this guy, bro.
Where is he? I don't see
He's
him.
there, man. Academia Day Trading. VSA awesome, he says.
I like it. Say it. Say it again.
Academia Day Trading? Is that bad?
No, it's all right. It's all right.
Yo, leave me alone, bro. I'm a Mandarin head. I don't know that Spanish life. Yes, I love Luis, man. Shut up. And Tisha, thank you. Case, I completely forgot. Not Trisha, Tisha, but you're close enough. That jogged my memory. Thank you, Casey, for that. VSA, this is what Luis is looking at right now. Look at all hell breaking loose on VSA. Lower high, and take a gander at this. It tries to retest VWAP, and then it fails. And then this is what we call a flat bottom break where all hell breaks loose. Funny enough, Luis, this one actually found support at yesterday's closing print. I'm sure you were alive to that. 138, 139 gets a bit of a bounce there, but most notably still trading below the 10 EMA. So this could be yet another short into 190 to 2. Keep your eye out on that. And also keep your eye on Luis Barbado's levels. He is small cap trader extraordinaire. And most notably, he goes mostly short. So if you don't want to go long, you want to go short, there is somebody you can keep your eye out on there. Shout out to my man, Luis Barbado. Thank you.
Bang.
And there goes Adama Traore again. I forgot he actually played at Aston Villa as well. One of the teams that I missed.
Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Aston Villa is all class, isn't it?
It's okay. It's Birmingham. Birmingham is nice. It's nice. It's nice. I wish I had gone to Birmingham instead of Leicester because it's way more fun. It's the second biggest city in England. It's actually bigger than Liverpool and Manchester.
Okay, Manchester.
Yeah, and it's West Midlands. I was in East Midlands.
Manchester by the Sea.
Manchester by the Sea. Is that a show?
It's a movie.
It's a movie. Okay. We're going to Deere.
This is going to be kind of going to be more of a speed run of happening now because we keep getting news, and at this point, we just have to do a segment. So I'm going to mention this news story that just came out on Citigroup. Reportedly considering buying a U.S. regional bank, and it keeps dropping. Again, if you're wondering why Citigroup is dropping, the company is reportedly considering buying a U.S. regional bank. Now, the other piece of news we had right before we were supposed to start this happening now is Peloton, PTON, moving around after Eric Jackson noted for his open door position. He said, hey, I'm long Peloton at $4, and it has spiked since that level. Lots to talk about, though, whether it is in the Middle East or with the Fed. So we'll start with the Middle East and some of these oil plays. USO still near today's highs, but a little bit range-bound and choppy as we do kind of wait to see if Iran's going to officially respond to the U.S. proposal. We know we got a response from them yesterday basically saying they don't want to negotiate at all with the U.S. unless their 5 points are met. But I guess, hey, now they're probably going to release a different response today with Jennifer Jacobs, a CBS reporter, saying that U.S. officials are telling her they are, quote, cautiously hopeful that negotiations could turn out with Iran this time around. We also have Fed's Paulson, Fed's Barkin talking. Fed's Daily also supposed to be talking, though I haven't read any comments from her. So from him. From her. So there's not a lot to discuss there. But again, a lot of these Feds still kind of cautious with regards to inflation. Last but not least here, some earnings and earnings adjacent catalyst on watch. CCL here with their Q1 2026 report, chopping around a little bit. As you can see, this came out right around 9:15. Then we get the pop at the open. It's dropped since. Let's also talk here about Unity. Unity, notably not earnings in and of itself. It's actually a preliminary Q1 2026 report. We'll get more into that later during the news segment, I am sure. But interesting look here for Unity as they do release preliminary numbers that are above their company guidance. But in the meantime, it's time to talk about Neil's lesson. Neil, what's the lesson today?
Well, I was gonna do one thing, and then I'm gonna pivot to something else. I read something in the chat that I found interesting. And look, we sit on a prop desk, and I've traded firm capital for my entire trading career over the 20 years. And I might take some swing trades in my personal account, but I can't claim to be a retail trader. And I saw something in chat. It doesn't matter. I won't say who said it. That's really not important. But it was something along. I'm not going to look for the quote, but it was something along the lines of, small cappers are for small accounts. Now, here's what I'll say from my experience. You probably heard me say this before, that when I started 20-something years ago, my first check came from trading penny stocks. To this day, I will still trade things that are small cappers, regardless of what my buying power might be. I can tell you in all my years in real trading, whether it's the trader I know that is the most successful in the history of real trading, crushes small caps and will trade anything and everything. But when I was young, that guy would destroy. He was like a whale on some of those things, but he could go right over and trade the Qs as well. On this trading floor, which is like the head office trading floor, now it's the show, the trading floor, everyone's kind of remote, and it's a bit of a different story. On the trading floor, there's always been small cap and large cap traders, and regardless of what the buying power might be, regardless of what the account size might be, the biggest trade opportunity that ever existed on this floor was on a penny stock. And it was one that, it was actually even on a Brazilian penny stock. It was completely insane. I've never seen a trading opportunity as big as that. And again, that would have been a penny stock. I've seen flash crashes that have occurred there was one on like Intel and a couple of big caps where mean reversion was insane if you were able to catch a turn. And I saw one that was on some small cappers like Sienna when it was under $5. So the opportunities are going to be abound. And it really just comes down to that if you are a trader, there's only one thing that you should be concerned about. Do you make money doing the strategy that you do? Is it repeatable? Is it something that you can consistently do? Is it something which is scalable, right? Because oftentimes you'll hear things like, oh, well, I couldn't really, you don't hear it that often, but like I couldn't get out of this position, or I had to get out because I had so many shares with this and that. The only limitation outside, like you have certain limitations in trading. You might have the size of your account, which the market doesn't care about. You might have something like your daily stop loss at a prop firm, which the market doesn't care about. You could set yourself a personal daily stop, which the market doesn't care about. The only actual market constraint on scaling a trade is the amount of liquidity available in your stock. That's why when silver was going crazy, a ton of people were trading ZSL because liquidity was infinite. Like there were millions of shares on the bid and ask, whereas SLV is a little more thinly traded. So people would trade the more liquid thing when they were taking their shots. That's just sometimes how it is. Like sometimes smart traders will go to the thing that is super thick that only needs to go 20 cents and I can risk 3 as opposed to the other one. But it's all kind of the same concept and the same idea. And it's really just about finding patterns that work for you. And make sure when you are evaluating or looking for patterns that work for you, you understand that sometimes how and where you express certain trades might work for some strategies and some stocks better than others. You might find that you have a support and resistance strategy that is better on large caps than on small. You might find that breakouts are better on penny stocks and small cappers for you, whatever that style might be, and you can hop in between, or you just stick to one. The point of the matter is, and one of the best things about this community is it really doesn't make a difference so long as you can find something that you are not just consistently positive on, which is one. 2, that when it goes wrong, and you will lose on trades, that you're not losing multiples of what you make, because then what is the point of that? There's no point having big days if your losing days are 3 times your winning days. And if you find that, hey, when I trade small cappers, I can't control my losses, then fair, then that's not for you. Or if I trade big cappers and I lose 3x, then maybe that's not for you either. So those are 2 things that matter. And then the third, I think, is a very important one, and I say this oftentimes, is ensure that you have a longer-term outlook on your trading. Don't just sit there. Oftentimes, traders will be like, okay, I made money today, and I was up this, and then I'm down that the next day, and I'm up this. Have a look at how you're doing over the month, over the quarter. Because if you're trying to do this for a longer period of time, if you're trying to get a side income out of it, if you're trying to get a primary income out of it, you need to make sure that you're developing things that are actually working for you over a longer period of time. If the strategy you're developing, it's like, oh, hey, it's 4 for 5 this week, but if over the last 3 months it's a losing strategy, well, maybe you need a little bit more proof that it's good for you. So there's lots of things that go into trading that are more than just I'm a futures trader, I'm a small cap trader, I'm a large cap trader. And I didn't mean to turn this into a non-technical. I usually, a lot of times I would do technical type of analysis or something that I saw that it was interesting in the chart, but not today, because I think ultimately, and I'll be the very first person every single time to come up and defend any style of trading that there is. Anytime someone says, "Oh, that's not real trading," that's not a real trade. When traders say that. Almost to a T. Almost every time I've heard traders say that, I'm not saying all the time, almost every time I hear traders say that, it's because they're jealous that someone else is making money and they're not. They don't like the fact that you can make sense of these small cappers and I can't? Oh, that's not real trading. You're not a real trader. You're a penny stock trader. Or they're losing or they're down that month. Oh, you're not a real trader. I'm a real trader. I lose on the futures. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. There shouldn't be any kind of hate. Trading is hard enough it's like find your niche, find your edge, and you know what? If someone has something or strategy that makes no sense to you, ask some questions about it. Maybe you can pick something up. That trader I talked about who traded everything, he had a chance to visit when Sean and I had our own floor at a different location years and years ago. This trader visited us from another province, so like in the U.S., be like another state. And he came and he sat on our floor for a week. And I'll never forget, like my breakthrough moment in trading, I like to call it my breakthrough moment in trading, came in a situation where this guy's sitting in front of me that is like, he's like the big whale in the prop firm floor, and he's on another floor. So we have this guy sitting in front of us, and I'm thinking he trades all this kind of other stuff. And we were trading the same like $10 stock that day. And that was like the primary thing he was doing. And there was this crazy flash move in the stock, and I ended up with 10 times my normal. I got this ridiculous overfill. I ended up with 10 times the amount of shares that I've ever had in like one split second. And I'm like freaking. You could hear me in the other room. Sean was doing some training of some trainees. They all start peeking through the door because I'm like screaming like my hair was on fire. And the dude turns around to me and he says, and he goes, well, okay, I can't say the first thing that he said because I don't want to curse here. And then, what's your price? And I calmed down for a second. And I looked at my blotter. And I said what the price was, and he said, and again, I'm not going to say it out loud, you have the best price possible. You're in the money. Calm the blank down. Handle your you-know-what. And I looked, and I was in the money, despite the fact that I had just gotten this obscene fill. It was great. I'm like, oh, okay, so I started working out of the trade. I probably still got out of it too early. And then after that, when I realized, this guy trades this stuff too? And then we had a conversation about it, and I learned a lot of things because I made assumptions that, if he's a whale, he must be trading large cappers, and he wasn't at the time. And I ended up learning a lot from the guy, and he's a really cool dude. I really appreciate him. And sometimes just opening yourself up to new kinds of opportunities or styles of trading can help your career more so than hating. And I'm not even saying that whatever comment in the chat was even hating. It probably wasn't. But when I hear things like, small cappers are for this and large cappers are for that, no, the trading is for everybody. So sure, you're going to have your limitations in your account size, and maybe your firm doesn't give you the ability to short certain things, or maybe your stop loss or the way that you engage in the market, you don't have access to enough dark pools to trade certain things. There's going to be limitations. But if you open yourself up to as many styles of trade as possible, as many patterns, as many ideas, I think it goes a long way, because you don't know what style of trader you will be. Ultimately, like, everyone's just in this game to try to make money, and I can't tell you how many times I've seen traders that eventually make it doing the complete opposite of when they sat down the first day, what they thought they were going to be doing. But the fact is, they made it anyways because they were willing to pivot. So anyway, that kind of turned it into a rant. I can tell you, I'm done the pork stroganoff. It was okay. It was okay. So I haven't had the salad, so I can't really, but it's like a plain salad. It's like, probably not even gonna put the dressing on it because I don't think I like the dressing flavor that we got. So I'm thinking about it, and I don't know that I can go any higher than like a 6.7 here at best. It's okay. I'll give the lunch an okay for sure. So good luck the rest of your trading, everybody. Joe, I wish I had gotten into that. I missed the IBIT short at VWAP there. Yeah, I know. I see it. I missed the you-know-what out of that stupid thing. No, look at my chart. This is actually pretty silly that I'm not in this. This is exactly where we were shorted before, and then it does this topping tail. And I wanted to set up off the 15. I didn't get it, so good luck there. Oh, what's this? Golf franchise. I think Neil wears red-colored shades better than Bono did on the pot. No, that's not true. Look at this trash small cap ticker for me, GRO. Well, you want me to look at it, or let Sharif look at it? No, I want to go. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Let me finish my lunch, bro. Well, I usually come on for like 10 minutes, and then I get finish my lunch. What's the deal with this thing? It's just pure accumulation. So death and then pure accumulation without a run. That's a long upward trending accumulation, which in small caps is not a bad thing. Like when you see all of a sudden it's like the stock isn't dying anymore. I don't know what this company does, so I can't tell you if it's in a good sector or not. But you get these higher lows, and then it's like it's trending up. And then something that another good trader told me, when you have these dead cat types of whether small cap or stock, and then you get the flattening of the 200, and then the 50 starts rising again, that's usually a good entry place to take some shots. So people are probably long this at the 250 and they're riding it. What I wouldn't like here, and the only thing I wouldn't like, is you can kind of see this. Like it goes back into that rounded bottom and then loses the trend. So it almost has to give another bounce here to get some continuation. But the 3 to 4 doesn't seem bad. It's just that the long really seems like it was off the 250 level for a swing trade. And for a day trade, it obviously doesn't do any volume, so you must be thinking swing trade, in my opinion. It's kind of in the middle right now where you better have it off the 50 period, but then that's more of a tight stop. Whereas here, when you get it after it flattens out and then 50 starts rising and you trade it here, that is a hold till the 200 period moving average, which sets up nicely. Now all of a sudden, if you hold it to the 200 period moving average, it has to break out. And I hate being in small cappers for a swing if it has to break out for me to win. I'd rather be able to take the win, and then if the rest breaks out, I'm just chilling, and I can't turn it into a loser. And it's a little bit different here. And again, I don't know what they do, and the volume seems pretty trash as well. So, no, it's in 200,000 shares on the day. It's a $3 stock. So, yeah, so it is pretty low. You wouldn't day trade it. There's not even a lot of liquidity for much else here. But anyways, I hope that helped. I don't even know if it did, but that's the analysis of the chart. Oh, I'm supposed to run the poll. Okay, man, okay, we're going to do the poll again. I've been told that we tried to do a poll earlier. Let me try to find it. I'm going to hit I had to refresh this thing first of all. We tried to do this poll earlier. So I'm going to refresh, end voting, return to main menu, custom poll, and we're going to say, how will the SPY finish today? Option A is we're going green, which doesn't look very good right now. We are going green. That's option number 1. Option number 2 is we are going to finish down. Whoops. See, I can't really type. I'm so hungry I can't type, people. Down anything underneath 1%. So 0 to 1%. And then we're going to add an option, which will be down 1 to 2%, obviously. And then we're going to go full bear down over 2%. And then we're going to start the voting. So 1 is anything to the green side. 2 is down between 0 to 1%. Right now we're sitting in 3, down 1 to 2%, and then full bear mode, 2 or more %. I'm going to go with option 3 like I did before. So I'm going to throw that in there. Wow, what just happened? Well, this isn't, whoa. Oh, that's super cool. Like, it's showing you all the different answers. Dang. I do need Fabian's behind, like, you need a faster computer. I have there's too much going on here. So I'll send you guys back and keep voting in the poll. Let us know what you think. We apparently have a lot of people that think we're going to sit where we are right now. 41% currently saying it'll be between 1 and 2%, which is where we're hanging out. See you guys back at 2 o'clock.
Thank you very much, Neil. That was fantastic. Guys, SST, here we go again. 78, 79. It doesn't show on the position board, but I'm long. $2.23, 80. Looking for 88, 82. Seller at 82. Continuing to watch. There's buyers here on SST. I won't be convinced any different. Let's see if we can kind of hold up back into 76, 78. I'm looking for high 80s. If we're this close to, you know, that $3 area, I have a bias that we work into 3. We're not getting the buy-in quite enough yet, and this is ending up now almost a triple top. So if I show you guys this on the 5, this could be a bit of a triple top, so we might have to move down, reset. First things first, let's see if we lose 60. 60, there was clearly a seller at 60. If we lose 60, I'm looking for 50 to 40 as support. Couple of reasons. One, you got 50 right there as the psychological support and or resistance, and then the 10 EMA on the 5 is showing 240. So that's what I'm looking at there. I got stop hunted also on BATL. I got back into this one with small size. I was putting it below this bar low, and then it looks like it dropped below that. It doesn't look like a stop hunt, actually. I think that was legit, but that's okay. We're still positive on Adama. We gave back a very little amount there, but I'm looking here at SST. SST looks really good. The only issue is this triple top that's setting up. Now, it doesn't mean that we can't get through the triple top, but it may need to reset structure for us to get through that. So that's what I'm keeping a look on there. Also, ARTL. Let's just not forget about this one. It's halted up again. This one is going to be a 10-minute halt. The halt time, 12:12:22. It's currently 12:20. Let's see exactly what. 12:20:30. So, what did I do here, Joey? All right, I minimized something. There we go. So the resumption for this one will be in about 2 minutes or so. Okay, a little bit less. So you got to keep a close eye on this one. But SST is not letting up over here. Where the hell is it? There we go. Right back into 72 it goes. It's got higher lows, doesn't have a current higher high in this 5-minute candle that just opened up. So be on the lookout here. I may add more if SST holds structure. Again, the level I'm initially looking for it to hold up, 60. If it doesn't hold up at 60, I'm looking between now 50 to 45. So that's my look there. Taylor, Sharif, too low of volume on SOC for you to look at? Never too low for me to look at it, brother. It may be too low for me to trade it, but this is why I'm here, my man. Like, this is my job. This is not a bad looking pattern at all, Taylor. SOC, scalable offshore, 2 and almost 3/4, 2 2/3 billion market cap, up 2% on the day. What does this company do? Just take a quick look. Independent oil and gas, focused on developing the Santa Ynez unit, SYU, in federal waters offshore California. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick look here at the daily. Good. All right. So right away, what we see here is a possible flat top break. Take a gander at what we've been doing in the mid-18s/19s. This is setting up for a possible break. Okay. Now, moreover, you're above the 200. Both exponential and simple. Simple's purple, exponential is blue. And you're setting up in a very nice way. Moreover, when you lost a little bit, oh my goodness, no, we have to look at ARTL. What the bad word is this? 1815, this just rocketed up. Oh my days, 1815 halt level, guys, and that's where it actually touched. So watch out here. ARTL is going absolutely buck, you know what, 430%, 420%, whatever it is. So keep your eye out on that one. But just go back to SOC over here. This is a really good looking chart. I like the daily for this. If you're talking about the 5-minute, the structure is holding, I'd be looking for support at that green line. That green line is the 10 exponential moving average. If it gives up that level, I'd look to reset. Break even on the day for you is 1792. That's where we closed out yesterday on SOC. We're going to pause. We're going to Adara.
I've got an update in that Citigroup report. Again, we heard earlier reports that Citigroup was considering purchasing a regional bank. The stock did drop sharply on this. Now Citigroup saying that, quote, the suggestion that Citi is planning to buy a regional bank, wealth brokerage, or any other financial services firm is baseless speculation. So Citigroup denying these reports, saying that they are not interested in buying any kind of firm right now, or at the very least that report suggesting they are interested. They're just speculative. Back to you.
ARTL is a madman. 1924 high. dropping into 17.82. You're going to have to give us a lot of room just based on the fact that it's moving dollars within seconds. If you're not giving it room, you're probably getting stopped out a little early. To give it room and to manage risk, you have to adjust position size. There's really no way around it unless you're like amazing at spotting these areas of support and resistance and you're clairvoyant for whatever reason. 1950 limit up. Here we are again with 18. It's a 1950 limit up with 1924 Casey. We can do better than Sizzler. Say less.
It's pretty. All right. You know what's real pretty we got going on right now, Sharif? That is this IBI. Luis, where you at, my guy? A day trading. There he is, man. What are the chances? I'm about to shout out our boy, Luis. Here it is. So 10 cents worth of risk. Little hockey error there. We're going to avoid that. Sure enough, we get in at 57s. We're only risking to 67s, and then we wait till a 1-to-1. We take some off. We take 30% off to be exact, and then we piece it all the way lower to hit approximately a 3-to-1 at the lows. Obviously, with us taking some off, you don't get that full amount, but small amount, small amount, small amount. Couple percent here, couple percent there, and then we're still currently sitting on exactly 32% of our position. So shout out to our boy Luis over there in Barcelona. Yes, Joe. Ethan Brissett. What's up, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. As for that, guys, we're in some silver long. It did climb all the way up to 22s, and then now we're starting to come back in. If we breach this support level, then I'll just get out. So my initial entry and my initial stop was right here south of 63.80s. Okay, but now that we've curled over, this could be a potential failed established new high and an attempt for that level. So as soon as we breach that 90s, I'm out of dodge. So 20 cents on that one. See you later. What does Arnold Schwarzenegger say? Hasta la vista. No,
hasta la vista,
hasta la vista, baby. Yeah, hasta la vista, baby. Other than that, guys, not too bad. The market looks like it does want to head a little bit lower and break through some key support levels. You can see that we have the SPY holding on to that 638, and at this pace, we're slowly starting to creep lower to this support system on the TQQs around 39.54. So we have to be prepared for a further market slide. Now, SATS, we were looking at that not too long ago. NVDA, what are you up to? And if it's moving lower, then we're not going to be in too good of a position if you are looking for a long, that is. Pull this up. I don't know why it makes me do that now, but that's all right. Daily, we don't want that garbage. And then sure enough, 5-minute, we curl over. We're now south of the volume weighted average price, and it looks like we're going to head towards that next level, and that's 168.31. So keep an eye out on this one, guys, in case the market wants to continue to bleed. We haven't done this yet today. Do you know what that is, Sharif?
Sector watch.
Sector watch. It wasn't. I was going to go to the options chain, but then I thought, because I didn't want to fool you and pull a fast one and go somewhere else. So we're going to have to do that one now. All right, guys. Energy sector, 1.8% here on the day. The utilities up 1.3 as well too. Consumer psych, 1.18%.
Huda.
Is this Spanish or something? Anyways, communication service, they're down 1 1/3, guys. We have the financials down 1.7%, and the consumer defensive, which apparently this was never on here. So very interesting, I guess, considering the times, is what you want to see. It should be discretionary. I think that's what that is in cyclicals. Anyways, aside from that, yeah, big words there, Sharif. But other than that, guys, extreme fear in the market, apparently, to the market sentiment here, Gage, that we are currently looking at, the Russell, and we have everything else along those lines. But if we head over to a different time frame and see how we've been performing on the week, you guessed it. The NASDAQ, typically the best performer. Well, you're correct once again. It is the worst one this week, down 4 4/10. Then we have the SPY down 3% and the Dow Jones down 1.4% roughly. IWM holding up the best. How have we been in the past 4 weeks? Everything negative. The Dow 7%, Sharif, SPY down 6% plus, Q's down 6% plus, and the IWM down 6% plus in the past month, guys. So real tough looks across the board. The long-term portfolios, in my opinion, aren't doing the best, but that's okay. Don't panic. Because you know why? We're going to go over to the 5-year. What kind of returns have we experienced in 5 years? 79% in the NASDAQ, 61% in the SPY, 37% in the Dow, and IWM up at 10%. Now, I understand. And what Drake said, he doesn't want to be rich when he's 40. He wants to get it now. But unfortunately, in the stock market, we have to be a little bit more patient and allow things to work for us. As Neil would typically say, It's the long term. Don't worry about it too much. Don't micromanage the positions. Allow it to do the work. If you're in good names, they will continue to climb because that's how the system is designed.
The long man, I typically don't look at UVIX, but I want to point out, so shout out to my man Luis Barbado. So here's ARTL. This is Luis's proprietary software, his company's proprietary software, I should say. It's fantastic, Luis. I really like the data that it gives here on ARTL. So everybody wants to know about ARTL. So look at this. What we have here, look how many gap ups versus how many running days it has, 15 to none. And it's averaging, when it gaps up, 57% is what it typically is, the gap up versus yesterday's close. But look at this. This is what I really want to look at here, guys. Look at the percentage of the times where it actually closes red on the day, 80% of the time. So I would be, I'm not saying this one's going to turn around at any moment, but for those who are, maybe thinking about holding overnight, this should factor a little bit in today. It's not going to be today anyway. Well, you never know, Luis. I've seen worse, but yeah, it looks like it's very strong on the day. So I want to point out, and all this stuff you can get if you get in contact with Luis. You can speak to him in the chat. I'm sure he has X as well. And from what I was seeing yesterday in the chat, he's definitely offering these services. So make sure to check that out. But look at this. For example, let's go back and say, I want to look at what this bad boy did on March 18th, where it had a gap up of around 26%. You click that bad boy here, and then it just takes a second to load, and then we'll actually be able to see the price action using TradingView's basically software. There we go. And then we kind of see, look at this, gaps up, and then all hell breaks loose to the downside. You can flip to whatever timeline you so choose, just like on any TradingView chart. So this is fantastic stuff, Luis, and this is just like scratching the surface of some of the stuff that he has in the software there. I still got to get more acquainted with this. Thank you for giving me access to this, and I'm sure a lot of the small cap traders would like to have access to this as well. And yeah, this has been fantastic stuff. I'm going to make it part of my daily routine to have that window open and to kind of go through some of the data points I need to go through if I'm going to trade these. So shout out to my man Luis there, guys. We're still doing very aggressive moves. I see NX double T above it. I'm about to talk about that, but I want to get back to ARTL over here. Reason is we've got now two lower highs. Okay, from that 1924 high of day, that was the candle on the 5, that was the 1220 candle on the 5. The high of that is 1924, right? Prior bar high, which closed basically as a doji candle, a bigger lower wick than an upper wick, 1899. That's the candle high. So now we know they're selling into 19. Current bar high, the 1230 candle, 1874. So it's 19, then it's 18 3/4. So I'm not saying this one's turning, but you need to be alive to these trend changes, right? ARTL, very much closer to highs than it is anything else, but just be aware here, guys. Let's talk about this one, though. Bovin and Casey have been talking about NX double T, as well they should. This is a great looking chart. It's not the big volume, winner or mover that you're going to see on the day. Certainly ARTL, and the one that I'm involved in right now, SST, has a lot more volume. But this is kind of respectful of trend. Number one, it's holding as a support level currently the prior area resistance. I'm talking about that 10, I want to say 10 to 10.15, around there, which was essentially a 205 pop. But look where the closing print is, or the opening print on the red candle, right around $2. So it's $2 resistance. We clear it, right? We get up into 2 1/5, 222 high. You come back in, you test 2, and you hold 2. And now you're stair-stepping up again. So a couple of things you could do here. You could look to prior bar low. If you want to be a bit more risk averse, you look to prior bar low. If you want to give yourself a bit more room to maneuver, then you look to area low. The area low, in my humble submission, is a 1215 candle, the low of which is 199. So you place at 198, 197, give it a bit of room. But 222 target, we could see 2 1/3, maybe even 2 1/2 if this one's volume picks up, but that has not been the case. The volume profile has been declining the majority of the day, so you have volume price action divergence. Not always the best setup, but nonetheless something to be on the lookout for there. We're going to pause for a second. We're going to Deere.
Keep an eye on some of these fertilizer stocks. Here is NTR, and I'll pull up CF as well. These are going to be in watch after a spokesperson from the UN said that the United Nations has established a task force to create a new mechanism for the Strait of Hormuz. This is in order to facilitate fertilizer trade and movement of related raw materials. So again, fertilizer space on watch, CF, NTR, two names to mention here as UN spokesperson says, hey, UN has established a task force that's going to make it easier to transport fertilizer-related goods through the Strait of Hormuz. Back to you.
Thank you very much. We were talking about that. That SST, Joey?
Yes, sir.
I had my order at 88s, right? I like 88s. You know where it went? Just guess.
Where'd it go, 88s?
No. Keep guessing.
90s.
No, I didn't get the print. I should probably told you that.
Okay.
87,
okay.
Joe.
Oh, all right, man. I need more detail, man.
Well, I missed it. I'm bitching because I missed it, right? But anyway, 273.
I was gonna say 6'9". Yeah, I would.
That's somebody. What somebody else said there in the chat. I don't know why I held back. Just because he put 69, it holds him back. Guys, topping tail candle, new high a day, ARTL 1991. So that one breaches prior bar high, and the downtrend has been broken on that one. But I'm trying to maneuver here on SST. I was looking at wetting the beak at 88. I missed it. So we're going to let that one set up. It's not breaking trend, so there's no reason for me to get out of it here. I still have a bias. This one maneuvers in a 3. So I'm going to start focusing here a lot on ARTL because this clearly is not done. And if it clears 20, this is gonna be crazy. I think we're gonna probably maybe get into a high triple-digit territory, maybe even, who knows, maybe 4-digit territory there, 1,000%. We're waiting to see. Let's see if it's got the juice to clear 20 decisively. I think that puts, some tailwind behind us if we can get through those levels. But ARTL is not letting up. That's a fact. So we'll have to keep an eye on this one and be a bit strategic. Jay was asking me, he's like, do you lament not having held? Jay, if I had held this one and did that with all the other ones that were halting, I'd probably be out of a job, you know what I mean? Because I would probably be stopped out a lot of the times. But we had several good trades on this bad boy. So I'm, practicing gratitude here, as I was telling you in the chat. But yes, of course, there's that side of me that wants to be in as it breaks through 19, as it comes up into 20. But, knowing full well these ones need a certain type of trading methodology, Joey.
All right, good stuff. We got stopped out of silver. All right, but we're still holding on to 32%, odd number, right? 32%, but it's easy to do the math, right? Ooh, voice crack there. It's easy to do the math when you take X amount of shares, you hit a 5-to-1, you take some off, you have X amount left, simplistic stuff. Now, IBIT, we're down 4% here, Sharif, and we're looking forward to continue to slide a little bit more. Now we're down to 37.30s, we're in at 57s. If we break 25s, we're gonna take that additional leg lower, and then we're gonna take it off so that we only have 25% remaining of the position and allow the rest to ride for the remainder of the day. Now, what do we have going for us right now? There's a couple of things. We're starting to form a consolidation. We've been trading within this range for approximately half an hour now. We haven't broken up higher, but yet we haven't broken lower. So, that is an even number, yes, Wendy's. So, what I'm looking at here is that the downtrend, we were weak yesterday. We headed into that $66,000 mark. I think that we just want to put ourselves in the right place at the right time, and that's hopefully going to be in the short side. It's worked for us. We hit that. Oh, Gaurav, we have that inverted hammer candle right at the volume weighted average price, in which the reason I took the short right here. That's all I needed to see, especially in an underlying asset that has been weak as of late. Now, look at this consolidation, chopping around for quite some time. Within that, you can see a little bit of lower highs. We like this. And there goes the market now putting in a new low. This indecision print on silver didn't work out for us, okay? It was a little extended from the volume weighted average price, totally fine. But when the buy program's on and you only get these micro pullbacks, you want to look to get involved. It's unfortunate that that didn't work in our favor, but we took small size. I have 15% on the silver position compared to what I had on this IBIT position, okay? So essentially what we got going on is patience. We're gonna run into that 37.25. We're gonna take a little bit more out to where we have exactly 25% left of our position remaining. And we can see on the level 2 as well, hey, is there a little bit of a ladder? Not quite. We'd have to filter out a bit more, but what we really want to focus on is the time of sales. As you can see, that strong flush to the top side, a clean flush on the ask and some above the ask. We want to see that on the inverse. We want to see, we want to see the opposite, right? We want to flush a little bit lower, man. This guy. Anyways, this guy. I don't know, man. Anyways, let's bring up that breakdown, Sharif. We got to focus here. 37.26. There it is. We're gonna be prepared to take a little bit off. We don't want, dude. I'm gonna do a hockey error. Stop, please. Sorry. There we go. We'll take some off at 27s, and then sure enough, we're now sitting on a little bit more. I didn't take as much off as I was going to, but that's okay. We're gonna do a couple things that I didn't get to do last time, and I was gonna pull up the. Are you still chuckling?
I'm good, bro. I didn't do anything. I was just turn my head around.
You're real innocent.
So that you don't see me laughing.
Super innocent over there. All right, we're gonna move forward, and we're gonna take a look at IBIT and see what we got going on from the options chain standpoint here, guys. We had that $41 mark that we were talking about the other day, and just the congestion through some of these strike prices. Okay, we can see that here. 0 DTD, these are all going to be expiring today. So we have to keep an eye out on that one. Anyways, on the put, I don't know why this is, because this is a simulated account, so some of the data seems to be missing, which isn't a good thing. But maybe we'll have to just switch over. But it's because I'm running the algo on this, so I have to run it on this one. But moving forward, let's take a look at NVDA and see what we got going on in the options chain. $170. I can't believe that. We're at 168 right now. A couple of weeks ago, we were talking about 185s and 200s. That $200 mark still has the most amount of open interest, all right? So, and then also that next zone is going to be around 185. So what this is telling us that not for the next little bit, we may not see some of these levels in NVDA. And if we take a look at it from a daily perspective, I think that's pretty telling. The market's been bleeding. We have some of the other larger participants down 30%. Who am I talking about? You have Microsoft, and you also have, I believe, Meta hit that mark as well, too. So it's not looking good. Now, where are we currently sitting off of that previous pivot high in NVDA? I'll tell you right now. 20%. Oh, we're bear territory on NVDA. From that previous high.
I saw that this morning.
So,
and this 170 level is a major.
So there it is.
Let's not.
I think it is. No, it is, Sharif.
It is. And I said that this morning to Brendo. But like, look. Go back a little bit there. So then we no.
Want me to go to the wiki?
No. You're right there. Right there.
Yeah.
So we were lower. No, go. So show them the current price action too, so we can make a comparison. So we have been a little bit lower. But that 170 break is important. I would say 100% it is.
Yeah.
The problem though is, do you believe in that 3-day rule or the 3% rule?
What is it?
So, or the 3-period rule. I shouldn't say 3-day. Because it depends on what you're charting. So if you're weekly, you're looking for 3 weeks in a row to close below a certain level. If you're charting on the daily, you're looking for 3 days in a row to close below a certain level. That's John J. Murphy's rule, or one of. And then there's the other one is a 3% rule. So if that 170 level gets breached by 3%, then you would say the level's been given up, right?
Fair. Yeah, I like that. That's respectable. So I mean, here it is across the board, right? Like, it wasn't Brent. It was another individual who we had on the other day. I keep forgetting his name. Anyways, he's like, it doesn't matter who you are. Eventually, you might experience somewhat of a pullback, and I think that's the narrative that we got going on right now. We go over to Google, but look at how identical a lot of these patterns are. It's unfortunate that NVDA went through that lengthy consolidation and then didn't climb higher, broke down. But I like that because why? If you have cash on hand, it's going to give you the ability to grab a little bit more and then be prepared for that next leg higher. Look at Google go lower, right? This is all 20% on Google. Wow, that's insane. Wow. I was waiting for that one, Assassino, but that's okay. I'll just do it myself. Wow. Anyways.
He's looking for it.
There you go. Wow. Yeah. Anyway, so one more thing before we send it off to Sharif. It's all fun and games, right? Everybody's partying, and now it's time to go home when it's not so fun. Right. That's all right, brother. So it's the same thing with Microsoft. Fun and games. Oh, the party's now come to an end. We're going to start to distribute and send a little bit lower.
There goes SST into 294. Look, I took it out a skosh below my 3R. So 1R for me, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, 1R for me was 2. No, it's kind of flipped the script now. So it was, let me just put it, I don't know, why is it changing like this? SST, what's going on with it? Okay, so 1R for me, 3R for me was 290. So I took it out at 86, but there it goes, into 99. This one's on its horse. It's about to take out 3. There's a seller here at 3, at least momentarily. SST is him at the moment, up 118%, triple-digit territory. ARTL is dropping, so be careful with that one. It still hasn't lost key technical levels on ARTL. I would say that there's a buy zone. Wow, SST, the breakout is on, guys. 317, 318, it just blew through 3. There's 3.25. 323 high. There is 327. I just saw it flash. The limit up there. Can't quite see what it is now. It has to move back up a bit so I can see what limit up is. But what a breakout! Yeah. Well, sucks, but I took it out at 3R, so I really can't complain about that. But there it is again. Now that it's decisively taking out 3, what's the move here? Are we looking for a 3 retracement, or is 3 too much of a drop? This is really going. This is an obvious short squeeze. There's the 35 area. We could be going to 50 momentarily here, guys. The shorts are on the ropes. They're getting squeezed. They're in trouble. There's 36. I saw 40s flash momentarily there on the level 2. Can't quite see it right now, though, but very, very good strength on SST here, having done a little bit less than 30 million shares on the day on a $3 name, which isn't even really that much, but nonetheless, it is very, very strong. Set up properly on this one. I saw a lot of topping tails, as we know, into the mid-80s, but really the $3 level is a level that I'll be looking at earmark there for a possible drop and a hold. But as aggressive as this one is to the high side, you need to kind of be concerned about being equally aggressive to the downside, as people will be looking to take profits. This is an intraday trade. There's a buyer at 20. He just got taken out, and there it goes, back into 15, 12s. Let's watch this single digits now. Let's see what holds up here. Do we have buyers at 3? Do we hold up at 3 on a strict basis? Or are we going to drop a little bit below the level? So continuing to watch. Here I need to see exactly what kind of buying is stepping in. I'm flipping to the 5-second chart on the top screen to kind of get a better view of the local areas of support and resistance, but there does seem to be a buyer in the high single digits, low double digits. Okay, so area low is 305, I believe, 306. That is the area low. That's where we held up last time. So no prints, at least not yet, on this latest down move below 306. Okay, nice move back into 320 here. That's breaking trend. Here comes the $0.25, looking for a possible move. There it is again, 36 high. Here comes 30. Not quite into 30 yet, but hey, you held 6s, which was good. So in fact, you actually held 10s on the last attempt to kind of make a lower low. You didn't actually make it. So continuing to watch here, SST. What a move this one has, man. Yeah, nothing for me to do here quite yet. I think I've missed my opportunity. It was in the single digits. Now it's having trouble taking out 30. This could be a lower high, right? Because we had 336 as the area high, and now we've got a few candles in a row there rejecting 29s and or 28s. Hard to tell. It's not letting me mouse over it. All right, here we go. Attempting to take out that seller. We took him out. Into 30 we go. Can we continue? Above 36, so we're unable to take out 30 quite yet. Man. Sorry, guys, just watching. Let's see we're getting a higher low pattern. This is not a bad look at all, but I feel like we're a little extended, to be quite honest. And there's a seller at 30 now, Joey. Yeah, you can see the seller at 30 back into the $0.25. Here comes the $0.05 of a dollar. Keep in mind, guys, that we had a buyer at 6 because we're losing trend a little bit here, at least locally on the 5-second chart. Keep an eye on this one. For now, we're sending you to Deere.
Bit of upward excitement here in this market as we get comments from U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio on Iran. He said that they expect there to be a response from Iran either today or tomorrow, backing up reports we heard earlier suggesting the same. He also said that there were communications from Iran on a willingness to discuss certain issues. Very vague, but again, implies that there is some back and forth here with Iran and the U.S. Furthermore, saying that the U.S. would find it unacceptable if Iran told the Strait of Hormuz. Back to you.
Cool.
Good stuff. All right, guys, we're back.
I'm not surprised by any of that, are you?
Pardon me?
I'm not surprised by any of that, are you?
No, sir. Yeah. Silver, we're back in this, guys. One more attempt. Nice little print here, Gaurav, Lost Polish. I haven't seen you in the chat here today. I seen Gaurav though, but let's see if we get this bounce, right? We tried off of this candle, didn't work for us, and now we're starting to get a little bit of a move. Yes, sir, and I added actually 20% more on this position than what I had on the other one, just because I like the additional fake out. We get that re-engagement, and sure enough, we can rock and roll on this one. So we'll hit a 1-to-1 on that really quick, but we want to try to hold it for a 2-to-1 before we take anything off. We're still sitting in this IBIT trade, working really well for us here today. Yeah, nice print. You in on that, Gaurav? 84s. We get that 84 print. Maybe we'll try to get some off at 90s. If we're fortunate enough to get a 90 print, there it is, Sharif. Let's rock and roll, my friend. We'll take 20% off right there, as quick as you'd like. As you would typically say, boom. We caught that 90 print. There goes a nice strong uptick in SLV. I'm talking about it, and I don't even have it up for you guys. We'll pull it up here. See, we get stopped out that one time, and then we just re-engage, wait for that better price, and then sure enough, instant ITM, and that's exactly what we want to see. So a pretty good look there on SLV. We want to hold on to some more of this one, and we're going to hold on to this Bitcoin until it either stops us out break even, or we break that 37.25 level and have the ability to take some more profits off, my brother.
One more time.
Ooh.
All right, we're doing it on SST in at the third of a dollar, just went the beak at the half. So the breakout is on now. There's selling at the half dollar, as I would typically expect there would be. Anything below 30 pennies ends the trade for me, knowing full well that there probably will be staunchy selling at the half dollar. Continuing to watch. Here comes a move back into the 30s. We've got an unbroken, I want to say 5 or 6, 7 candle downtrend here on the 5-second chart. Here's 47s, 46 is showing up again. Let's see if we can kind of take a look at the selling. What kind of size shows up at around the half dollar? What I was waiting for, I'm going to show you guys my 5-second chart in a second, but what I'm waiting for here is a resolution right above 50. There's 50, Joey. There's 55. New high of day. Let's see, we can't continue above 50 though, so there's aggressive selling into the half dollar here, even though we breached it on a technical basis. There it is right back above. Looking for the move. Seller at 55. Big seller at 55. 55 showing up again. Let's see if we can shake them. We shook them for a second. They're setting up again. Let's take this one over here. Good trade. Not bad, not bad. This one's going to break out into the 60s. It goes, guys. SST is absolutely him at the moment, up 160%. These ones cycle in. It's ARTL's world. We're all just living in it. That happens for about 25 minutes an hour. Now it's SST's world. So we'll keep an eye out on this one. Let me show you guys my chart to kind of explain what my methodology and the reason I got in, exactly where I got in was. So here it is. This is the 5-second chart that I always keep my eye out on when we have these crazy ass movers. And so this was clearly holding trend, right? So I was like, all right, cool. If it breaks above this, use the hotkey. I've got a 3 penny basically offset, meaning that even if I punch and the price changes, it'll get in plus or minus 3 pennies. So there was the downtrend break, and oh boy, it just broke again. Look at that 350 move. So in any event, as soon as it broke the uptrend over here, downtrend, sorry, I knew there were buyers. And so I didn't know whether or not we were going to continue into the half dollar. I took my shot, and that was I was happy about that. So SST, the only reason I use the 5-second chart is just like another sort of level 2, right? You can clearly see selling at 20 on the level 2, but you can also see it on the 5-second chart. If there's a seller there over and over and over, you're going to see it. The problem with the level 2 is it's only around briefly, right? It's quite transient. So you don't really, if you don't have a really good memory or you're not really looking for it at that level, you may forget. There was a seller here, there was a seller there. So I find the 5-second chart works pretty good. Why not the 10-second? Great question, Bryston. I mean, I don't really think there's obviously a difference. The 5-second chart gives me a bit more nuance, obviously, but I think the 10-second chart is equally as valid. And you guys know, right? Like small cap traders, they do use that smaller time frame to spot areas of support and resistance. So yeah, that is it there. Smile, says Noon Loon. Oh, my bad. We're going to Deere.
Beware, President Trump is talking live right now. He's talking about farmers. If there's anything market related here, I'll let you know. He's already said, quote, we're doing really great in Iran. So Iran's going to be mentioned. If there's anything of note, I'll keep you posted. Back to you.
Thank you very much for that. Trump states that the U.S. has resumed soybean exports to China.
Okay.
All right.
We'll take that. We'll take that positive there, Sharif.
Yeah.
We'll also take a little positive move there on SLV. but we get stopped out break even, and I'm glad that we got out of it because now we're south of our entry price. We should have took some more off, only 20%, but it is what it is, and we'll take that scalp for sure. Now Bitcoin heading right back towards our previous entry, our previous low there, guys. Haven't had the ability to crack it just yet, but hopefully at this pace, we will be able to. Though we had a massive volume uptick as well, but there is a hardcore support system that's holding up relatively well here, guys. But we must take a look at some of the indecision prints in and around this consolidation zone. So there's an indecision print, head right back lower, and we haven't broke it. But if the volume, we get one more strong volume uptick, then I think we have the ability to do so. But one thing that we also have to take into consideration is that the fact that we have formed these higher lows. So it's really a push and pull, and we don't want to get too much into the technicals and have all these different things going on and have analysis paralysis. We want to stick to the narrative. We're positioned well right at the volume weighted average price, and if we happen to be fortunate enough to get the that 37.25 break, then we're going to be rocking and rolling. All right, patience is going to be key, as I typically say. Patience, patience, patience. Now. We went over the options chain. We can run through our scanner and see what we got going on over there. Who's typically leading the way? You guessed it. It's NVDA with 108 million shares. Never really good when you see a bounce like this. So a big time recovery there. So maybe it was, yeah, whatever. So maybe it's not going to break down, right? Like we've had multiple legs. In the post market, we get that little pop up right after the bell. Katina Man and I were looking at that. And then it's like, oh, okay, from this morning, from time, as Drake would like to say, is leg down consolidation, massive leg down consolidation, leg down, and now we're kind of just chopping and churning right now. So let's see if we can continuously form these lower highs on the 5-minute and head past that specific support level that's been holding up pretty well so far. Now, let's take a look at some other names. Micron, we've been talking about this, but a strong recovery. And if we take a look at it from the daily, that's an aggressive pullback. And it's funny, as soon as it's like, okay, you're down 22%, so you can classify this thing in bear territory. But as soon as it's at its high, you get those analyst articles where it's like, yeah, it still could run. It's still a solid buy. And the next thing you know, you're down 23%. All right? Who am I going to refer to now, Katina Man, considering he's back in the building? One of your favorites right there, a good buddy of yours, Tom Lee, Bitmine Immersion and Company. $70 all the way down to $18 is absolutely insane. That's 73.
Yeah, I'm getting rinsed on that.
Yeah.
I'm getting rinsed on that.
Are you going to buy more?
No, not yet. Well, it's just not giving me
a trend change. There's no 80%. Trend change. There's zero trend change.
I'm underwater on this one, and I'm underwater on Joby.
Oh, yeah?
Underwater now on my iBit trade.
Oh, same. And I sold a bunch, though. My average went up. Okay, the boys had a poll up the other day. It was, what would you rather be holding, or what would you rather buy? GameStop or one of these crypto treasury plays?
Crypto treasury.
Crypto treasury? Mm-hmm. Okay.
What's the bull case for GameStop? Their crypto balance sheet? What's the retail case?
I mean, that's fair.
Are we really talking that there's going to be retail gaming that's going to make a comeback?
No, I
want to know.
I happen to agree with you. I think it's a tough one. I don't see anything positive for GameStop in the near future, considering, they have Bitcoin on their balance sheet. All the games are online now.
And they're kind of both, aren't they?
What's that?
GameStop is kind of a crypto hoarding, so it's like almost like BMNR, but with Bitcoin.
Yeah, right? Exactly. And I think it's just, it's only a matter of time until GameStop is no more. I mean, with Ethereum, we can build the case that there is use case. Right?
We know there is.
We know there is.
Smart contracts.
Bitcoin, we don't necessarily have use case, but store value and finite supply.
And first mover. It was like the first major
crypto,
it's
the grandfather,
right? Exactly,
right? It's the grandfather.
Yeah.
But as for GameStop, I think that phase is over. It was a pretty close race. It's like, I think it's an understandable question. But as Katina Man brought it to us, the next day Ethereum was down 6%.
Well, I'm not saying Ethereum is going to go up in a straight line. I'm not even trying to make that argument. I'm underwater on BMR.
So
I really can't say, but
so as of right now,
if you're asking
gun to your head, either GameStop or
BMNR.
You're going BMNR.
All day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Just personally, I mean, I just don't see the bull case. And you guys are bringing up good points. I mean, like Jock says, the bull case is roaring kitty, and he with the wink. Look, I mean, I kind of think you're joking. He's
out of that though now, isn't he?
I have no idea. Is he?
Didn't that guy have $1 billion unrealized at one point?
I don't know. I know he had several hundred million position.
Yeah.
But was that his money?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, I remember like I knew at the time. Anyway, but I do believe Ethereum does have a use case. I don't know what the use case is.
But the bull case, so to add to that bull case point, as for Roaring Kitty, but the hedge funds won't allow that to happen again.
They're not going to get caught offside. They're not going to get way. There's no way.
It's not, exactly. It's not going to happen again in the manner that it did from before.
Why not? Why not? Already bag holding GME. Hope it pays before I grow. Come on, man. Bro. Come on, bro. I hope you get paid, man. I have no shorts on GME, so it can go to 1,000. I mean, it's not going to affect me. Maybe the FOMO for not having gotten in, but you know, I hope you print multiple storms, man. Jeez, look, there it is, guys. NXTT. Breaking out. And Joey, look at this. I mean, when a stock tells you who it is, believe it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We're playing that one from before. But look at this. This is quite respectful here of the 10 EMA on the 5, right? And it really hasn't given you too much in the way of bamboozlement, Bovin. It hasn't gone up in a straight line like it gave you that retracement. You tried to break 220. It comes back in. Lo and behold, it holds 2. And then, you know, it closes above the 10 EMA, and it's marching on its merry way, getting into the high of the day. It's up a very respectable 51 1/3. So NXTT looking fantastic over here, man. It could be at the $0.50. But I also want to mention that ARTL, for the moment, is breaking trend. Okay, it's above prior bar high. I think if this one gets above that 18.5, we could be all gas again. So what's it called? ARTL holds generally that 15. What's the low of this candle here? So it looks like 1550 held quite well. That wasn't the breakout level. The breakout level was 1480. Let's say 15. So the bulls were pretty gung-ho. And here we are again. 18 is showing up. I think if we get above these closing prints here at 1850, the breakout's on again, and the shorts are going to be on the ropes. 1991 high. ARTL is showing up, but we haven't taken out, I'd say, some key levels. So be on the lookout here. This one can turn in a minute. It really can. So that's one there I wanted to point out. SST, we took the print there in the high 50s, but this one is also kind of showing that it's got several higher lows, starting from, you know, obviously this candle over here, but it's holding trend. Now the problem is it's also got lower highs. So you need to be able to square that circle. If that's not, you know, doesn't fit within your risk parameter, put it below prior bar low, then leave that one alone. Also, I saw you guys talking about VSA. I looked over to Neil. I want to find out how much shorts on VSA costs. Are quite expensive, so I'm going to leave that one alone, but let's see if this one can hold 220. Right, so got all the way down. Remember when Luis was talking about this one? It was a great short flat bottom break through the volume weighted average price. Goes into yesterday's closing print in the 136, 137 area. And look at the retracement into that area high of 263. Alas, it's coming back down. Here comes the $0.25. I say there is the volume weighted average price at the $0.05, and you got the 10 EMA at 215. So if it holds up there, this could be another recovery. Right back into some area highs. Extend your trend lines as far as it'll go too, by the way. You never know really when they come back into support and resistance. So VSA should also be on watch. And SST also still looks like it has a bid here at around the $0.33. Last but not least, Bovin brought this one to my attention. PLYX. Look, it's not bad, Bovin. PLYX, let's throw that on there. But that topping tail into 918, big boy drop, holds 8. It's got a bunch of lower highs. I think this one needs to set up above 8 4/5, but you know, I could be wrong about this one. We'll keep an eye out on it. PLYX is the ticker. We're going with Deere.
Keep an eye on both Caterpillar and John Deere here. Both Cat and DE just got name dropped by President Trump. He said that he's calling on both companies to lower tractor prices in addition to all other companies that make tractors. So just keep an eye on that here when it comes to CAT and DE. He also spoke positively about both companies. So again, just be aware, Deere and Caterpillar both being mentioned here at least a couple times each by President Trump.
Shout out to Kat, off the highs, but I'm still holding. But Luis, I am short. Stop buying VSA. I swear, Luis, I haven't even bought one share of VSA. I was just noting that, you know, it's back above the volume weighted average price. But Luis, this is a topping tail candle that I'm sure you're probably looking very thoroughly at, because it's breached now prior bar low. We could be heading down to 220. I'd say if we lose that 10 EMA on the 5, which is showing 215, 214, then we're probably going back to maybe 180, 175 on VSA, especially if it loses VWAP, but something to look at there. What else, man? Silver looks like it's dropping a little bit because that's ZSL. I did very little with this one. I kept it on the side chart in case there weren't other ones running, but there was plenty running today. This one looks like it's kind of a bear flag, right? We're covering a little bit. The shorts are covering. Where we get up to, let's see. There is definitely that 4 a.m. low. I want to say at around 26 and 4/5, 26.75. It could make it up there. It's above the 10. It's above the 20. No real area of resistance up here, I'd say, until that 4 a.m. low. But that's really, I'm going to not probably execute anything here on the ZSL. It is it's 5 after 4. So let's get right down to work here.
5 after 4.
5 after, yeah. You can tell where my mind's at, right?
Yeah.
It's 104.
Oh, my boy, we got hella overtime now at this point.
Right? We got to send it over to Katina. How was the gym, brother?
Very good.
It was very good. What'd you smash today?
More kettlebell and some.
I'm really happy that you're smashing kettlebells lately. You're gonna like them, trust me. They're actually quite something to do. It's more than that. But Katina Man is back from the gym. He smashed a little kettlebells today. We're gonna shout him out for that. Kettlebells, very interesting, obviously. Nothing bad to say about them. What I was telling Sean is, I'm like, the weight distribution on the kettlebells is fundamentally different than they are on dumbbells. Just think about where you're holding the dumbbell, right? You've got it in your palm, and so the weight's pressing all the way down. So you get like vertical weight distribution. When the kettlebell, it's almost diagonal because it's like hanging off the side. So you're getting the weight almost in the sense like it's a cable where it's pulling to the outside, which I like.
Bro.
What?
Nothing.
Who? So anyway, I happen to like kettlebells a lot, especially for free motion movements. But yeah, it's neither here nor there. Makes sense, nerd, says Noonhawk. All right, cold-blooded. There goes NXTT, Bovin. You called it out. Let's read the super. Should we read it or no? Is it a liability? Huh? I'm talking to you.
What, Joe? Dude, I told you about the selective hearing thing. What would you say?
Is the super a liability, or should I read it?
Oh, let me read it here.
Oh, so you didn't read it.
No, you're good,
Okay.
man. It's fertilizer. Yeah,
oh, cool.
Yeah,
Son of Daniel. Thank you very much, Son of Daniel, for the $10 super chat. Looks like you dropped a couple of super chats, though. The soy announcement comes from rising fertilizer costs, and it'll show up at the negotiating table with China after farmers already have it in the ground. That's going to squeeze other agro prices. DBA, he says. Let's take a look at DBA. Your point very well taken there, by the way. Shout out to Saskatchewan, which has a lot of fertilizer.
The first shout out I've ever heard of.
Saskatchewan? I happen to like their premier, man. I like Scott Moe. You know
I like
him?
the Alberta.
You know about him?
No, I like the girl over there in Alberta.
There's no. That's my girl, my boy. All right, let's have a look over here. Yeah, very consolidative is DBA, but definitely off this area low. Looks like there was certainly buying at around 25 and change, 25 and a half, 25 to 20, yeah. And here we are back at 27. It's a range, man. It's kind of hard to read these ones because, well, they're range bound. Let's see if the weekly shows anything different. Yeah, even more of a range on the weekly, quite frankly. 28, 28 and a half. Area highs, 25 and a half, I want to say area low. I trade it as a range until it shows you something different, right? But your point well taken. I think the negotiations between President Trump and President Xi.
Oh, what a pop-up here in the market.
Be quite interesting. Go ahead, Joey.
Yeah, look at Bitcoin go here. So we're going to have to get out break even if it comes back to us just like that. We thought we were going to get that breakdown, but the market definitely moving here, guys.
Congressional
a big-time
action.
move. Yeah, now starting to come back in. As soon as we get the green light to go, I heard something. All right, yeah, no problem. So here it is. We'll pull up everything. An additional volatility spike. Get used to this narrative, guys, as we head towards support levels, have the inability to breach, and then sure enough, we get that massive uptick right back into the volume-weighted average price, respectively, in the SPY, the TQQs. Google not necessarily as strong, but IBIT and also silver starting to head a little bit lower there, guys. So, Adara.
So I think this is the headline here. U.S. reportedly signaling to allies that they do not have any immediate plans for a, quote, invasion of Iran. So again, USO spiking a bit lower here, market spiking a bit higher as we do get reports that the U.S. has signaled to its allies that they're not immediately planning on a, quote, unquote, invasion in Iran.
Yeah, you don't want that.
No. No. Do you?
No, you don't want that. No,
I don't. NXTT high a day. PLYX making a move. Keep your eye out on Bovin's levels. He's been trading PLYX quite well. But I also want to mention SST, the one that we were involved in. Here it is again into the 60s. The high of the day is 65. So great hold there of trend and a move back up. This one could C4 pretty quickly. Let's talk a little news now, as we are now 8 minutes after the hour. Meta. Oh boy, where is it at? Oh my days. It's gonna lose 500 soon. 526.11 low, trading at 528 3/4. Two back-to-back jury verdicts found Meta liable for harms related to its platforms. That is a major legal shift for these social media companies. Legal experts say the ruling could trigger thousands of similar lawsuits, and the situation is being compared to early-stage litigation waves in the 1990s that targeted the tobacco industry. Who remembers those? When the doctors would get on the stand and say, oh, it's not bad for your health. No, it's not addictive. Those are interesting to watch. They're on YouTube, by the way. Plaintiffs successfully argued that the platform design itself, which has the addictive features vis-a-vis the algorithm, is harmful. This sidesteps the traditional protections under Section 30, which were historically used by these social media companies to say, look, it's other people putting content on our platform. We're just providing the marketplace for them to put content on. You can't use that anymore, according to the judge who heard this case. The introduction, though, of this addiction as a legal argument that significantly expands the potential liability these social media companies face. And it's not just Google. It's not just Meta. There's a lot of other social media companies as well. SST is absolutely flying. I see it, random oddities. What a move up here. 385 high, taking out the prior area high. SST breakout. So let's continue on here. So the jury in the New Mexico jury awarded $375 million in damages related to the exposing minors to harmful content. That was the woman who, as an adult now, basically sued Meta for harms she incurred as a minor. The LA case, which rewarded about $6 million, 3 in damages and 3 in punitive, they link social media use to mental health harm. So a bit of a different take there, but the real risk is the scalability of the future claims, not the individual verdict size, because we got to look at this as now possibly having multiple claims that go that way. And if that's the case, then you got to look at all these claims and then see how many different claims there's going to be, or sorry, the damages, and then see how many claims are going to be. Meta does plan to appeal, and they're going to continue defending their platform design. They really want to emphasize the complexity of mental health factors, that they're not the only ones responsible. The company warns, though, these rulings could force major changes to product design, including features like the infinite scroll and the notification settings that we're all used to now, Joey. So This is quite an interesting development in the world of social media.
It's not looking good, and we mentioned this yesterday as well, too. Is this the big tobacco moment for some of these social media giants? I'm going to be looking at this exactly like how Google had with Apple and the antitrust. It's not going to be good, and it's going to weigh on the stock for quite some time. They're going to pay a ridiculous amount in fines, most likely. I just have that feeling. Not only that, these guys wasted $80 billion in Reality Labs. That hasn't been a success. So Zuck really not in good terms right now, and he's not sitting in a really good position, in my opinion. CapEx heavy, 160 billion or something along those, 135 billion this year alone. So yeah, and then you have all of this issue, this legal issue that's really starting to fall on his shoulders. It's not going to be good for the stock. I'm invested in it still.
Are you?
Yeah, I plan on sitting in it for the long term. I mean, I don't think until you have structural change, then there's no reason really. He's going to pay a lot of fines. We know that, right? Is he going to have to change things on the platform? Most likely, right?
What if the infinite scroll has to go away and basically the amount of ads that show up are far less than the revenue number?
That's most likely something along those lines is what's going to happen. Until then, Sharif, I'm not going to jump the gun too early.
Fair.
97% of its revenue coming from digital ads.
Exactly.
I'm not going to sway away from it. It's still the social media giant that it is. Until this is cooled off and we actually get a new verdict or something along those lines, then there's no reason for me to get out just yet.
All right, respect that. Let's go on to the next story here. It's Meta with a $10 billion CapEx investment into their West Texas data center, and that's a big. They were only going to spend $1.5 billion on this West Texas data center. Now they're going to spend 10. The facility is, though, expected to deliver 1 gigawatts of capacity by 2028. The El Paso project will create 300 permanent jobs and will require about 4,000 construction workers at the peak. Those are transient jobs, of course. They're not going to be around forever. Meta's committing an additional 5,000 megawatts of clean energy to support all their data center operations. The site will span 1.2 million square feet, making it one of the company's largest infrastructure investments in its history. They had previously guided, when we're talking about the CapEx umbrella, $135 billion in CapEx spending for 2026. We'll have to see if these latest lawsuits and the potential, contingent liabilities that, Meta has now will change some of the CapEx spending, but that's yet to be determined. Unlike its peers, though, we're specifically talking about Softy, Goggles, and Amazon. Meta lacks the cloud business, and that's what I've been saying to you guys for a long time. So even though, they're spending similar amounts of money on CapEx, the other three can see immediate returns vis-a-vis NeoCloud, right? Meta doesn't have a cloud business. So they're going to have to see it in the form of advertising revenue. How that translates and how quickly it translates, one must wait and see.
Why wouldn't, sorry to interrupt you, but why wouldn't Meta start like a NeoCloud business?
Brother, you're going to have to ask the Zuckster that. Like, I mean, I'm just saying what it is, right? Like, but the fact of the matter is the other three can monetize this in a shorter amount of time than Meta can, at least directly.
Cloud providers.
Cloud providers. So are you spending big boy money on these data centers, GPUs, server racks, and everything else that comes with it, cooling, energy? Oh my God, the stack is insane, right?
It doesn't make sense. Like, why wouldn't he do it? I just don't understand.
I'm just saying it, Joey.
It has to be, someone has to have brought it up to him. It has to be talked about. You're not going to spend $135 billion and not look to have it all for avocado or llama.
I think he seems to go all in on stuff though. Like we've seen with Reality Labs and stuff. He seems to go in. Token generation. Yeah, token is just a unit of compute.
You can spend $135 billion on token generation.
Well, token generation is just like
compute power.
Exactly.
Is that right? Yeah. 100%. But that's what he's spending it on.
Yes.
Is that right? So
for ads. Yeah. Or
for ads.
in his physical product case, I think he's trying to get AI to have that physical. Oh, by the way, someone was selling 2 different Meta glasses, the new ones, for $1,000.
How much are they? How much are they brand new?
They're a little bit more if you were to get them together because there were 2, right? So they're not cheap either. AMD at day's high, says Pathik, but it's still, it's down 0.5%, but thank you for pointing that out, Pathik. Roland Joe, I heard these data center AI chips only last 3 to 4 years and need to be replaced then, and that's a big concern for the economy. You bring up a very good point, and I think Michael Burry was bringing up that exact same point, but when you fact check it to reality, and I've mentioned this many times, let's just take CoreWeave, the A800, which is NVIDIA's, I think, like 2022 or 2021 chip. You guys can fact check me on that. Number one, they're charging 135% of the price to rent that A800 chip than they were at the time when it came out. And it's also booked 6 to 8 months. Solid. They have no capacity for A800. So I see the point. It makes sense on paper, but when you look to reality, their older chips are still being used. So I get what you're saying, Roland Joe, and I think it's valid, but let's see what the actual practices in reality. Last thing I want to mention here, the company is also developing its own MTIA accelerators that are aiming to reduce reliance on NVIDIA and AMD. So we've talked about Meta also developing custom silicon in-house. That hasn't gone well. It hasn't gone as well as the Trainiums and the TPUs as some of their competitors. So anything, you already commented on this, if you want to add anything else.
I mean, so I think the difference here, Sharif, and I see if this makes any sense. So we have the larger competitors. They're essentially double dipping, right? You have the token generation, more compute essentially means more revenue, plus the cloud aspect.
Right.
So you only have Mark Zuckerberg only tapping into one of those things essentially right now. But he's going off the bet that more compute is going to generate him more revenue.
Yes.
Doesn't rent out the cloud. All right.
No, you're actually right about that.
So the company has pledged to restore 200% of the water consumed by the data center to local watersheds.
And can I say something else?
Yeah.
A lot of these technologies, it's a closed circuit.
Yeah.
So you're using water, but you're taking it once. So it remains within the same circuit.
So
it's
he's
not like
going to double it up there. He's going to double it up there.
Extracting water from local.
He also stated with the Louisiana data center, he's going to be looking to subsidize for the money spent on energy as well.
Oh yeah, it's bring your own power now.
It's bring your own power.
BYOP.
Yeah,
right.
But that's where Caterpillar comes into play.
Absolutely.
I guess, right?
And we talked about the generators. 2-3 years to get these generators.
Because they can create a grid essentially.
Well, exactly.
Right? Okay. But yeah, other than that, I mean, like 1 gigawatt of power in Lebanon. Oh, in Lebanon, did you mention that there, Sharif? Indiana, though. Lebanon, Indiana.
Oh, you scared me. The data center get clipped?
No, we don't want that one there. No, but
okay,
I mean, 200%, I don't think many people are going to complain about it. The El Paso grid to match 100% of the electricity used for its data centers. So, I mean, people were getting frustrated. The local residents didn't want these massive data centers, but if they're going to kind of supplement for what they're going to be using, then maybe it's not so bad. Job creation as well.
Job creation, yeah, because you got to construct these bad boys,
right?
And they're huge, 1.5 million square feet.
If you're using the locals, that is.
Yeah, well, one would hope. All right, let's talk about Amazon. Chip unit sees a key leadership exit. Who is this Gadi Hutt guy? A key leader named Gadi Hutt is leaving Amazon's chip division, known as Annapurna Labs. Well, more on that in a second. Hutt played a major role in product and customer engineering, especially tied to the chips we just talked about, custom silicon, Amazon's own Trainium chips, Trainium and Trainium 2. They also have others. His departure removes a core contributor from Amazon's in-house silicon strategy. Annapurna Labs is critical, I should say, a part of Amazon's custom chip development. They acquired them from an Israeli startup back in 2015 for $350 million, give or take. The internal chip development that helps Amazon reduce their reliance, of course, on the NVIDIAs and the AMDs, as well as others, and that helps with cost control, because very expensive. Hutt is the second senior Annapurna executive to exit in 7 months. The previous person took off to ARM, according to the report. Amazon also seen other notable AI-related exits, I should say, including its head of AGI earlier this year. It does create a bit of a pattern of talent exodus. They're also aggressively investing in AI chips. As I mentioned, Trainium and Inferentia is the other one it's called Inferentia. There's 2 versions of Trainium. My understanding is Trainium 1, Trainium 2. In any event, Amazon down 3% today. I don't anticipate it's entirely on this news. Google's also down another 2%, guys. So yeah, that's getting clipped as well. Joey, thoughts on this story?
Yeah, so I mean, they're still kind of looking to. I mean, they acquired the Israeli startup Sharif there for $350 million in 2015. That was a while ago. But this goes back to the conversation where we had. It's like we find that there might be some form of a disruption with these hyperscalers starting to build their own chips. But this is another prime example between Mark Zuckerberg and now Amazon. It's not as easy. So that's why I think NVDA has a solid. At the moment, a solid stranglehold, maybe its greatest competitor being Google's TPU, but it's not as easy to create your own chip, essentially, and be vertically and horizontally integrated.
Well, your point, absolutely accurate. You got to spend big boy money to do it in-house, as we've seen these hyperscalers
and you need
do.
the talent.
But if you're not hyperscalers, you got the Marvells and you got the Broadcoms who help you design custom silicon, right?
Absolutely.
Adira, what's your take?
I A lot to talk about here, but first I just want to mention Israeli media security source reportedly saying that operations in Iran could continue for another 4 weeks. That would be well beyond the timeline we've gotten from the U.S. So, I have notes here to help myself because I have a lot to say. Because I was curious. I saw this story on the Morning Note, and I had not seen it on X. I hadn't really seen too much about it, so I did some research because I wanted to understand it a bit better. And what I found was a little spicy. So basically, I looked up this Gaddy Hut individual. His LinkedIn shows not only does he still work at Amazon, but it also shows that he's hiring, which is kind of odd. And maybe he hasn't updated his LinkedIn yet. Maybe this isn't confirmed, but there's more weirdness. So first of all, like the director position. The word director seems to be given to a lot of leaders at Annapurna, and that brings us to the article I have up here. This is a TechCrunch article from literally like this Sunday, March 22nd, 2026. An individual by the name of Julie Bort, who worked at TechCrunch, went on this exclusive tour. Now, who helped her at her tour? It was not Gaddy Hut. It was this individual, Mark Carroll on the left. He is a director of engineering, and the guy on the right is a lab director. So everybody seems to be getting the name director, or at least a lot of people seem to be getting the name director at Amazon's Annapurna, which makes you wonder how significant of a title it actually is. Now, if he is in fact leaving, that would certainly be significant just because he was with the group from the beginning and he's been there for like I have notes here, since October 2013, right? So that would be significant on that part. But here's the thing. I want to get into that report that this other individual, his name is Rami Sino, and I have a photo of him right here. This guy also reportedly left 7 months ago to go to ARM. About that, I have no evidence he left. I spent a lot of time looking into this. All I see are reports that he left. His LinkedIn still says he works at Annapurna, and furthermore, he used to work at ARM, like right before he worked at Annapurna. So I guess the idea there is he went from ARM to Annapurna back to ARM, but again, there's no evidence that he ever left Amazon. There's no announcement. I haven't seen any posts. So if anyone knows what happened to Rami, please let me know because I'm legitimately curious. But long story short, I would be very cautious with this catalyst, especially considering we don't even know the whereabouts of this man. Who knows what's happening to Gaddy Hut? Back to you.
Thank you very much, Adara. All right, guys. I'm going to comment here, glass half full. He asked me earlier for my scanner settings for the small cap gappers. Sorry to kind of digress a little bit from the news, but let's just do this quickly because I did promise him earlier that I would do this. So here's my scanner. There's going to be so many different scanners, obviously, depending on what platform you're using, but most of them have pre-made scanners, okay, that do different things. For example, look over here. Top percentage gainers, top percentage losers, the most active by dollar, halted, closest to limit up, limit down. There's a lot of pre-made scanners, really depending on what platform you're using. The one that I'm using for my purposes here, top percentage gainers, okay? So that's the first step. We're using top percentage gainers. Then we want to filter a little bit. So I typically, or I used to, have 85 pennies as my price filter. The reason I would do that is because I was trading exclusively stocks above $1. So Neil gave me the idea long ago, put it at 85 pennies so that when it's making its way to the dollar, you kind of have advanced notice. But I've since changed, and we are trading these ones that are below $1. So I've moved my price filter down to 25. But I've also moved up my volume filter. Now that I'm trading these sub $1 stocks, they're going to have to do a bit more volume. So typically I would have had 250,000 shares as the minimum daily volume traded before it shows up on my scanner. Now I've moved that up to 1 million, okay? So those are just the only two filters that I put on. So we're choosing top percentage gainer. We're filtering by 25. That's, your choice. 25 pennies, minimum price, and minimum volume 1 million. Now, what I keep on my scanner as well in terms of columns also is important. And again, you're going to have different settings really depending on the platform that you use. Obviously, the first column is the instrument itself, the ticker. Then you want the price, obviously. And then I have a couple of different change percentage gaps over here. One is just called simply change percentage. And what that is, it populates either from 4 a.m. or 4 p.m. So for example, if let's just say ARTL broke out after market yesterday, it'll tell me what this one is up relative to yesterday's close. Say ARTL didn't do anything in the aftermarket yesterday, it broke out this morning. Then the change percentage will populate from 4 a.m. onwards. The column next to it is change percentage since open. And that starts populating the percentage up or down from 9:30 onwards, so from when the bell rings. And the reason I put both of those columns there is for this reason right here. Look at RBNE, up 20.75% on the day, but down 1.5% since the open. So I'm not interested in trading it. So that's column number 4. Column number 5 is gap percentage. Very important as well to have. You want to see what it's gapping up or down if you're looking short. Then I have 3 volume columns here. I have the volume traded on the day, but I also have next to it average volume because I want to see, is this stock doing above average or below average volume on the day? That helps me filter what I want to trade. Let's take ARTL, for example. It's done about 69 million shares on the day. The average volume, though, for ARTL, about 6.1 million. So it's very much above average. And then the third column here for volume is volume done in the last 5 minutes. The reason I put that one on there is because I want to know, was this one doing volume earlier in the day, maybe around 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, or is it continuing to do volume now? So that I put that in there as well. Then next to it, I have shortable shares. Now this one is specific to my platform, but the reason I put the shortable shares on there, I want to know if this is easy to borrow. It doesn't give me a very comprehensive look on all the other exchanges, whether shorts are available. It gives it to me on my platform for IB. So for example, look at this bad boy here, NXTT. IB only has about 7,900 shares available to short. So I can make an educated guess that while yes, there are shorts available for this one, they're kind of limited, and I can basically superimpose that to other exchanges as well. Not a hard and fast rule. But for example here, look at CHGG, Chegg. It's got about 12.5 million shares available for short, so that I know this one's super easy to borrow. And then I'll get to the range in a second. Then the column next to it, is the spread. So for example, ARTL has a 14 penny spread right now. That helps me determine whether I want to trade this one or not. Usually small cap trading, you want a tighter spread. And last but not least is the range. This shows me vis-a-vis these column bars over here, whether it's trading near the high end of the range or the low end. For example, look at U over here. That's Unity. It is very much at the low end of the day. Compare that to this one, though, RGTZ, Rigetti. That one is trading towards the very high end of the range. So I can kind of visually see a lot of information about the stock without even having pulled up the chart. So I hope that helps. That's kind of the only thing that I use to find these small cap gappers, aside from the chat, of course, which is always fantastic and always helps us with these ones that are moving. So I do appreciate that. And do we have to cover a super? Yeah. You want to cover that one, Joey?
Absolutely. Pull it up there, Assassino. All right, we got it anyway. Son of Daniel, the cheese tycoon. Guys, VCX might be the most beautiful short in the market, question mark. Take a look at that one there. I mean, there's some pretty beautiful shorts there. Katina Man will tell you about the TQs one momentarily. He's prepared, he's punctual, he's ready to rock and roll. But let's pull up VCX and see what we got going on here, guys. Fundrise Innovation. We were talking about this the other day. Let's pull it up on the daily. Yeah, I really like this. I really like this on the daily. That's a massive inverted hammer candle. Look at the strength in this bearish print and continuing to slide here on the intraday. It is a really, really good look. The majority of the move has been from a gap down, it seems. There's not very much liquidity. What? That can't even be correct. Is it VCX? Pull that up one more time, Assassino, for the people back home. AKA myself, so I don't have to, okay, no problem. Yeah, VCX, that's it. Yeah, it wasn't bad today. I mean, from $209 all the way down to $162. I see what you're talking about. That's a big time move. This is that fund that I believe that is this the fund that invests in private equity here?
TXYZ?
No,
VCX? Let me find out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is that.
I think it is.
That new one.
You are right. Yeah. I don't have any information on it.
Oh yeah, I didn't see. We looked at it the other day. So.
There was a short report from Citron Research yesterday.
That's the one that you can invest. Into private, right? Yeah. So there it is. All right.
Oh, we're done?
We're done.
Okay, let's continue on. Let's talk a little Microsoft here. Freezes hiring in key divisions as AI spending picks up. Microsoft has paused new hiring in several major divisions, including cloud and the North American sales team. The freeze applies to roles without already approved offers. That signals, targeted slowdown rather than a full hiring stop. This is a cost control move, according to the company, to kind of protect margins. Their fiscal year end is in June. Fiscal year end. The decision comes, though, as Microsoft continues heavy spending on AI infrastructure, which is obviously having pressure or hurting profitability. Notably, Copilot and AI-focused teams are still hiring, though, so it's not a company-wide freeze. They're looking to hire in the right divisions, according to the article. Microsoft recently reported slower cloud growth for Azure. At the same time, they're recording record capital expenditures, specifically on AI. That spooked investors a little bit who are looking for near-term ROI. The hiring freeze, though, does signal that management is acknowledging the margin pressure that's ensuing with all the AI spend, but they're not alone. We know that Meta also reportedly is looking at large-scale layoffs. Amazon has already cut about 30,000 corporate jobs, not warehouse, corporate jobs in recent months. And that the trend reflects a shift away, I would say, from the growth at all costs strategy that we've had in the earlier half of this decade, and now into a more profitability and AI-driven efficiency. We'll have to see if that continues to happen. But just to give you an idea here of their workforce, Microsoft had about 228,000 employees globally. That's as of mid-2025. They previously cut, Joey, about 4% of their workforce last July, indicating, there is ongoing restructuring efforts.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen this across the board, Sharif, as Meta is essentially reducing cost as well, too. You're seeing Amazon layoff, and then you're also Block as well with those massive layoffs. Now, with the hiring slowdown, I think that's going to lead to eventually to the point where what comes after you typically just stop hiring in general. You're probably going to start cutting jobs at some point, and I think that's going to be what's going on. The street is really worried about how much big tech is spending, $630 billion in this AI tsunami, they're calling it right now, and they're worried about the payoff in the long. Yeah, did you hear that term now? The tsunami. I mean, it's a tough look, and I think that's going to be the next step for Microsoft. I have a friend that works for Azure. Hope he's doing good. I should give him a ring, actually, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah. Remember I told you about the brother works for PepsiCo, and is the younger one, my best friend, one of my best friends that works for Azure. But no, in all reality, you slow down the hiring. Eventually, you're going to probably lead to cuts, especially if this really starts to become a little bit more efficient. We've seen it across the board, or even just to fund some of these, to fund this CapEx, right? You're going to have to get rid of one of your biggest expense, and that can come at the cost of employees.
All right, Adara.
I have news as well. It actually concerns Apple. So I'm seeing some reports here suggesting that Apple has appointed Lilian Rincon, former executive at Google, as their new VP of product marketing for AI. So new AI-related hire at Apple, Lilian Rincon, is the individual, and again, former Google exec. Let's talk here about MSFT. See, this is kind of an interesting one here, and I think the timing of it's interesting as well in terms of the stock's performance. I was reading this might be Microsoft's either worst quarter or worst Q1 performance since 2008. So either way, Microsoft's been getting hit hard. So, and we know there's a lot of concern over this AI spending. So hiring freeze announcement is interesting, and they're also not the first to announce something like this. My old friend Oracle, reportedly, back in March 7th, we had this report that they were going to freeze hiring and also do some layoffs. So it sounds like this hiring, this could be, I guess, a sector-wide issue, which could be a bit concerning potentially for the AI trade going forward. But yeah, interesting look here for MSFT. The market did not care about the story. It came out yesterday, I think around 2:45, and the market had no reaction. So we'll have to wait and see. I think with this one, it's less the immediate implications and more the long-term implications, which are of note.
I like this, Fabian. What am I supposed to do with this? Looks fantastic. You didn't explain it. Should I not show it? Oh, no. I like it.
Way to ruin the party, man.
Well, sorry, bro. I apologize. Let's go on, talk a little bit about oil surging. Where's it up? We got 5% right now on USO, above 123, moving up despite President Trump announcing a 10-day extension from the U.S. to Iran, obviously not bombing their energy infrastructure. Also, while limited tanker movement has resumed, markets are not fully convinced the risk has passed, obviously. There's obviously a lot more that has happened with the Trump oil-Iran trade since the writing of this article, but we're going to read what's written here. Trump indicated that 10 oil tankers passed through the strait. Initially said 8, then we got 10, kind of categorizing it or labeling it as a gift or a show of goodwill by the Iranians in their negotiations with him and the United States. The move is being framed as a gesture from Iran. Analysts warn the oil market, though, has shifted from buffered to fragile, meaning less capacity to absorb shock. And we always talk about how 20% of the world's oil goes through the strait, or about 35% or 30%, whatever it is, of seaborne oil passing through the strait. But we never really quantified it in a barrel per day kind of number, and that's what it is. 17.8 million barrels per day flow through the strait. Those have been disrupted, so if you want to see the running total, it's about 500 million barrels so far that haven't made their way as a result of its closure. Joey, USO up 4.9.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to continue for quite some time. Apparently, a couple China vessels weren't allowed to pass through the strait either. I mean, the demand is going to go through the roof, and unfortunately, the supply is going to be cut. And it's really tough because it's going to be essentially passed on to the consumer. I mean, you got to look at the pumps and everything along those lines. It's probably around $2.20 for 93. I haven't gone this week. Yeah. Katina Man's got the Tesla, so he's good over there. Yeah, he's good. I mean, it's not good, Sharif, and no one wants war, but at the end of the day, it's the average individuals, the people who are driving to work every single day, who are getting the most affected by this.
Bull Shark 3000 wants to know how much gas is in Toronto. Well, we do liters here because we're metric. 7, you did the calculation. So it's essentially around, give or take, $7 a gallon. Okay. $6.79, you did the math on it yesterday. $6.79 yesterday. But didn't it drop a little bit today, Katina Man? Didn't we go down? Yeah.
What's the 93 at today, Katina Man?
This guy and his 93, bro.
I know,
like the guy's got an EV.
Oh man, I don't need that. What am I looking at the 93 for? I'll look
so much
here.
winning, Darwin. Stop, bro. I want to say something.
Yeah.
That provincial government, if you guys are thinking we're getting taxed on the gas, we are, but at the federal government level. The provincial government's removed. I think they had like a 9 or 10 penny per liter tax, and they've removed that now since basically 2022, and it got codified with the new budget that we had in this province yesterday. So I don't think we're getting taxed that much at the provincial level, but I understand at the federal level we still are. You made a mistake. You said it was $7. You must have had a brain fart. No, I didn't, KT, for the win 81. That's according to the Katina Man. He's telling me. You do it, Katina Man. Well, he's going to do it again. He's going to do the calculation again. We'll get back to you, but that's what I was told. Katina Man's right beside me here. Let's talk a little Micron, Joey, because that turbo quant's tripping out everybody. So, Alphabet unveiled an algorithm called TurboQuant. It dramatically reduces, if you believe the report, the memory usage in AI workloads through extreme compression. The announcement triggered a sharp sell-off across memory stocks, SanDisk, Micron. They're up today. SanDisk is up 2, Micron's up 3/4. Investors immediately priced in the risk that AI may require fewer chips. The key fear here amongst analysts is that if AI models become more efficient, then less DRAM and memory hardware may be needed per workload. Memory stocks, though, have been major AI beneficiaries. Any sign of demand compression hits this thesis pretty hard. So the narrative is changing essentially from AI equals more chips to AI efficiency equals fewer chips spent per dollar. We'll have to wait and see because not everybody's in agreement. The counter argument here is that long-term picture may be still bullish as lower costs. So if you have to spend less money on RAM, then maybe you'll build more data centers. because your costs will be dropped off a little bit. And that's kind of what Morgan Stanley says. Morgan Stanley notes that cost reductions in RAM, NAND, DRAM may actually increase overall demand as you'll be able to scale more. So no one's really in agreement at the moment as to what this compression algorithm, if it works, actually will do. But I was reading a little bit about it on Google Research. They had they put a post there on X, and apparently, thank you, Katina man. Apparently, that the compression, you get about 8 times the speed, number one. Number two, there's 0 loss of data. So it retains all
from this turbo quant.
Yes. If you believe the reports, again, right? We always got to take it with a grain of salt. So thank you, Katina man. So $6.25 a gallon is what we're paying today. That's today, Canadian. So that comes to about $4.79 US.
And that's at 165 a liter.
That's at $1.65 a liter, which is the current price right now. So it'll be about $4.79 USD, $6.25.
That's for 87, my boy, no?
Yeah. That's for 87. That's the cheapest type of gas. Yeah.
We're not even close to that. I'm at like $2.10 a liter right now.
Yeah. Well,
$2.10 a liter.
He's going to do it for you right here. So this is the turbo quant thing. You think this thing is hocus pocus, or is this a real deal?
It's still yet to be proven, Sharif. I mean, it could be the real deal. Isn't this what we want with all this AI spend? You want to find efficiencies in every aspect that you possibly can, right? Yeah. So until it's actually proven, it might just be all smoke and mirrors.
All right, let's move on to the next story. We got Netflix raising prices again as the content spend surges. Netflix implemented a broad price hike across all their subscription tiers with increases of at least $1 per month. Ad-supported tier going from $7.99 USD for all these, of course, from $7.99 to $8.99. That's the cheapest or the smallest rate hike. The standard plan goes up $2 from $17.99 to $19.99, and you also get a $2 hike.
Something going on here in Bitcoin, baby. As we rock and roll to the downside, a big spike lower in IBIT. Volatility spike earlier, now a big move down, 37.20. We're short 37.57, so a nice little move there, and it looks like it's going to continue at this point here.
All right, so the premium plan, the last one there, the most expensive, goes from $24.99 to $26.99. So $1 increase for the base and $2 increase for the standard and the premium. All right, extra member pricing though also increased, signaling that continued push to monetize account sharing. So if you thought that was spared, it was not. Management continues to justify, though, the price hikes as necessary to fund the massive content investment and the platform expansion. They're also leaning very heavily into live events and now even into podcasts. Not really sure what that goal is, but they also they also expect to spend $20 billion in content in 2026. That's up from $18 billion that they spent in 2025. Higher content spend, though, Joey, according to the article in the company, is a key lever to support subscriber growth and justify their pricing power. If they don't have good content, are you really going to pay more? The company does expect as well their ad revenue, and this is kind of what makes me feel that, Netflix may have some room upside here. They expect ad revenue to double in 2026. So if you're on that, well, you got, I'm always objective, my boy.
Stay objective. I'm glad, my boy.
Yeah. The company, this guy looked at me funny. The company expects ad revenue to double in 2026. That is, of course, on the what's it called? The ad tier or whatever they're calling it, and this shift towards a hybrid subscription plus advertising model, a little similar here to legacy media, right? Because that wasn't really their mode initially. They didn't really care much about that.
It's kind of turning into that because now every 30 minutes you have essentially a commercial.
Is that what's happening?
Pretty much. I don't have it, but that's when if I wanted to watch Stranger Things, it's like every 30 seconds. Seriously. Same with Amazon Prime. We'll talk a little bit more about Netflix. I want to talk about the Warner Brothers deal as well too. Adara.
Yeah, Google News here, guys. GOGL on watch. The company reportedly, according to the Financial Times, nearing a deal to help finance a data center for Anthropic. So again, Google nearing a deal to help finance this Anthropic data center, reported by the Financial Times. GOGL, like a lot of things here, near lows.
Thank you very much for that.
Those are lofty expectations for coming out of Netflix, saying that your ad revenue is going to double. That's substantial.
For this year.
For this year, that's substantial. I think they played it smart with the Warner Brothers Discovery. I think a deal, obviously, with Paramount Skydance.
Yes, sir.
I think it was weighing on the stock for quite some time.
We know that for a fact.
We know that for a fact because look what happened after. But I like how they didn't chase it. They're like, hey, we need this whatsoever.
Yeah.
They liked it at a certain price, and then they stepped away when they couldn't get the deal that they wanted.
Do you feel it was maybe a little of the regulatory pressure that they were feeling that made them back off, or you think it was more price?
I think both. It's
both.
fair to say to both, right?
Yeah.
Like, right? But then also, I think it's just really smart strategically wise is that the fact that they just didn't continuously raise their bid. Did Larry Ellison pay too much for this thing?
That's a great point,
Some people are saying
he did.
Yeah, exactly. And Adair and I both agree we're not overly confident in what Paramount can do with the catalog they're going to receive from Warner Brothers.
I'm so scared. I'm really just honestly scared.
I have nothing to add here. Let's go on to Warner Brothers Discovery shareholder vote set for the Paramount deal.
Speaking of.
Yeah, I know. I put them together on purpose, obviously. Warner Brothers Discovery will hold a special shareholder meeting on the 23rd of April of this year to vote on its merger with Paramount Global. Shareholders of record on the 20th of March of this year will be eligible to vote. So that's like 7 days ago, a week ago. The deal is expected to close in Q3 of this year, pending, of course, regulatory approval and shareholder consent. But WBD shareholders, they're going to receive $31 per share in cash. That represents a 147% premium to the unaffected price of $12.54. This is full cash consideration that removes the market risk tied to stock-based compensation. So you receive Netflix shares as opposed to cash. Maybe Netflix drops after that, and you're wondering, well, I would have just rather had the cash. So it removes that kind of risk to it. Could have worked the other way as well because stock could go up. In any event, the merger has been unanimously approved by both companies' boards, indicating, of course, strong internal support. Given the size and the industry implications, though, expect heightened antitrust security, according to the article. That's not my personal opinion. If the deal is not completed, though, Joey, by the 30th of September, shareholders are going to receive an additional 25 pennies per share per quarter until closing.
Yeah, exactly. So there's obviously a delay fee on that. We were talking about that when it was announced the other day as well, too, Sharif. I think they're going to cover some other fees as well, too, amounting to a couple $2 billion here and there. But it's going to be interesting. The deal's not done just yet, so be patient, and hopefully that it's going to cost them more if they don't get it done on time. 25 cents a share.
There's my man. We got to give him a grand entrance.
Yeah, absolutely. Here.
Big.
Hold on.
Okay.
Little smile.
Little smile.
Little smile.
There's my man. Here is 0.005% of this week's profits.
Wow.
The beatings will continue until morale improves. Zins 12 for the win, Stable Eddie. I love this guy, bro. I don't understand why he always goes short, but that's what he likes, and who can dog him for that?
I mean, there he goes.
He's up big this week, eh?
So let's do the math. How much you make this week?
Well, you can do that backwards. Shout out to my man, Big Spal Burdell. Always love the chiming in. He's always listening to us, by the way. He's loving the midday, he always tells me, man. So he can't be as active, of course, as he once was, but great to see that you're still with us, Big Spal.
Yeah, you get in trouble.
We love you, brother. Stay healthy. Say what's up to the fam, and hopefully maybe one day we'll see you on this side of the border, brother. So shout out to Big Spal Burdett.
Not without my permission.
Oh. You're going to meet him at the border there, eh?
Yeah,
My God,
absolutely.
check this guy.
Yeah. He better bring some Zin 12s over if he thinks he's coming here.
Are there no Zin 12s over here?
Hell no.
Oh,
you got to get them illegal. Yeah.
Why do we need to be babysat like this? I never understand. Anyway, MTDR, should I bail, up 42% so far. Shout out to Golf Franchise. Let's take a pause here. Take a quick look at MTDR. MTDR. All right, so this is the weekly candle. Oh, snap. Okay, so immediately you kind of see a bit of a change in trend, a lot of lower highs that ended. Okay, so that's good. Moreover, you're above or you're at I wouldn't say you're above it technically, but you're at a skosh above prior area high. I'm talking about that January 2025 area high, the high of which was 64.10. Today, the high is 65.73. So you're above it. That's number 2. Number 3 here is that you're going to encounter resistance, probably a lot of it, at 70. Look at that area high. That is October 2022. You also got back into that level April of 24. So I'd say, you know, you're gonna need some good buying there to move the sellers at 70. But this is a very good looking area, and that $40 generally was money. It did lose it momentarily during the tariff tantrum. That's the first week of April. But that's a great hold at 40 and a big move up. Breaks trend, breaks prior area high. Now you're looking at that $70 area. That's the weekly. Let's take a quick look at the daily over here. Yeah, very, very respectful of trend. I like it, man. I like it, Golf Franchise. I'd say be looking for that 70 area. Maybe you want to wet the beak at the $70 area. Maybe you don't. Maybe you hold. What is this thing? Matador Resources, $8.1 billion market cap. They are an independent energy company engaged in the exploration, development, and production and acquisition of oil and natural gas resources in the United States, with an emphasis on oil and nat gas, shale, and other unconventional plays. Okay, so this is an energy name, so I think it probably will be subject to, you know, how Middle East tensions go. So you need to factor that in as well. So whether or not you get to 70 probably will have to do with whether or not this conflict continues to move on in the same way that it's doing, and whether oil prices remain elevated. That's just my guess, never financial advice. Thank you for the super chat. Let's talk a little Target here, Joey.
Yeah.
So Target facing a new boycott. So the American Federation of Teachers, AFT, is urging their 1.8 million members to avoid Target for back-to-school shopping. The boycott stems from criticism that Target did not respond strongly enough to immigration enforcement incidents in Minneapolis. We're speaking, of course, about ICE. The union plans to expand the pressure through the AFL-CIO. I know what the NAACP is. I don't know what any of these other ones are. Quick Google search will probably cure that. Potentially, obviously, broadening the boycott reach. This is the latest in a series of boycotts. We know that there was one before that had to do with DEI. Target is implementing aggressive initiatives to win back customers, including price cuts, as they mentioned a few weeks ago, on 3,000 items to drive up traffic. They're also expanding to 2,000 stores, and they're trying to increase the footprint and continued investments within what the company's saying is community engagement and partnerships. Prior sales weakness, though, was partly attributed to the consumer backlash over DEI rollbacks, along with softer discretionary spending. There was that, and then there was the Pride, what was it called? Pride, I guess, like clothing. Previously under the other administration. So Target's really been the focus of boycotts a lot from both sides of the political aisle. The boycott is strategically timed, though, Joey, ahead of the back-to-school shopping, which is a key revenue period for Target.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at this as a big-time slap in the face there, Sharif, for the boycotting. Stock goes from 116 all the way to 120. I mean, Target didn't have a good stint here in Canada either. They were here. Are they back now, or they have left the country once again? So I think it's 2 times around they attempted to get things going.
Third time.
Yeah, third time. Yeah, I don't know. Do you take a third attempt? Regardless, the stock's still up 44%. I mean, boycott or not, the numbers are speaking for themselves. And I think if we look at the bigger picture, you have the staples starting to come into play as you get the flight from some tech names. The Walmarts, the Targets, and the Costcos have been trading relatively well.
Great trade for you, Jay. Shout out to Jay Lee.
What's Jay?
39 prediction hits. Shout out to he was short T-triple-Q. Shout out to my man Jay Lee.
He's in the prediction markets?
No, he took the T-triple-Q short.
Oh, I thought you said
39.
prediction hits, like he was hitting the prediction market.
Well, that's his goal, I guess, is what he meant.
Does Thing have it yet? The prediction markets?
Have what yet?
IB? Yeah.
We've always had prediction markets.
Pull it up now. Let's see. Can you pull it up real quick?
Not at the moment.
Oh, you don't have permission?
I'm in SIM on this one.
You don't have
I don't like anybody to see my account number.
But you can't get it in the SIM?
I have no idea. I can try.
Do you need permission? Like you need other data?
There you might, like options. But it keeps popping up on the, what's it called? The stock visualizer, because it'll pop up, like I'll show you.
What pops up on the visualizer?
I can show you, give me a sec here. Trading, and then if you go to the NQ, it would pop up here, but now I don't have any NQ permissions anymore, so it's not.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'll do it after, but yeah. Let's talk this last one here, SMCI. The probe is expanding here. So apparently it's not just, these data centers getting their hands on it, it's universities with military ties, if you believe the report. So SMCI, they're down today, or they're down another 3.5%. Plunged 28% at the time of the writing of this article after U.S. authorities charged individuals tied to the company with smuggling AI technology into China. Reuters reports that Chinese universities, including ones that are linked to the PLA, the People's Liberation Army, acquired SMCI servers equipped with restricted AI chips. The involvement, though, of the military-affiliated institutions, that significantly escalates the geopolitical risk and the scrutiny that they're going to go through here. It remains unclear, though, how these servers were sourced, which highlights possible loopholes in the global distribution channels that currently exist. And reports are suggesting that intermediaries, specifically in South Asia, may have been used to bypass these restrictions. Singapore, Vietnam, how many times have we said that? 2 more universities as well, including ones with military ties, actually attempted to make purchases between last year and this year, though completion remains unclear of whether they were able to get it. So the story of the smuggling continues to expand, man.
Yeah, it's not a good look, and I don't think it's going to be for the foreseeable future. They're going to just continuously lose customers. The next earnings reports aren't going to probably be very good whatsoever. I mean, the guidance is probably going to fall off a cliff at this point. It's still down 66%. These guys are repeat offenders, whether it's moving these chips to China or just reporting extremely late. I'm not a big fan of this thing, and I wouldn't be surprised if this really starts to escalate, Sharif, and at some point, I don't know, I'm not going to say too big to fail, but these guys can really, really start to dwindle in size, and I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if eventually they get delisted, if they get in big trouble.
They got to tread carefully here, man. They got to tread carefully here, because now you're aggravating the regulator, and it's not for like a small thing either. Guys, this is the chart on Meta. We are at the low of day. We just got to the low of day, 521.27. Yeah, man. And here comes the 200. We haven't been at the 200 moving average on the weekly, on Meta, on the weekly, guys, since the week of April 24th of 2023. That was the last time we touched that blue line on the weekly. Now, there's that $500 level we have to look at. So that's $21 away. Moreover, we were below this during the tariff tantrum. So we got to a low of 467.31. But you can see that week that actually made the area low ended up closing green, and green quite decisively, because the low there was 467 and we ended up closing at like 543. So almost $100 off that low. So this is not a good weekly candle to close out on, and that's likely what it's going to close out on. So this will be the look of the weekly candle unless it catches a bid here. So Meta's in a lot of trouble. I'd be looking for 500 first and foremost, not like I'd buy it there. And then I'd also be looking for it to lose that weekly candle low from the tariff tantrum, which takes us back to the first week of April of last year, Joey. So Meta, I want to leave you on that note. It's not a good look. And yeah, what are the plans for the weekend?
I'll just work on a couple of things at home, relax a little bit, hit the gym tonight, see what the weather's looking like tomorrow, throw the ball outside with Milo, get him outside and stuff. Been raining a couple of days here.
It has, yeah.
Been taking the Yale public transit home, so I don't have as much time.
Welcome to my world, baby.
Yeah, but we picked up the car yesterday.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah. So my mechanic is telling me, I was like, hey man, what if I buy